The ring light is like a ring light, or
Yeah, but it's like, it's just for the desk, just for them what's the name videos, them like talking heads, bro.
so what kind of content do you want to do?
What you mean?
Like what kind of like internet content, or do you?
All I'm doing, basically, like, I'm just talking my ish, kind of like in a way, like I'm using it to brand myself, like,
Right.
because so many people don't know about all the records I did, all the like I'm saying, me and Kane Beats invented the sound of female rap.
Yeah, facts.
Like early Nicki, Super Bass, and I did like 10, 15 records only. Train them girls like Better Lies. All them records shape what it is now, and nobody knows. And so it's kind of like I'm using that world to do that. So that's what that's been. But
No, so listen, I literally when I always do intros for all my guests, and when I first when I started looking up your stuff, like legitimately, it's like, oh yeah, you need way more of a presence online, bro, because with the amount of shit you've done that I know you've done, more niggas need to know. So let me give you your intro, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the SBI podcast. We're here today with the producer behind Nicki Minaj's Super Bass, only featuring Lil Wayne, Drake, and Chris Brown. He's also worked with Future, Britney Spears, Sia, Neo, Kehlani, and Amigos, shaping the sound of modern pop and hip hop. His music has also appeared in major films like Suicide Squad, Crazy Rich Asians, and Rio 2, and Bright, which I just found out. My boy, JMike.
Yeah, we ain't here, man.
Man, you in this bitch.
Come on,
nah,
man.
bro. Like,
Been too long.
it's been way too long. I was saying last time I saw you, you had dreads, and that's what made you cut the dreads. It was just time.
I think it was just time, bro. Like even when I cut it, I seen Future just cut his last week.
Yeah.
I seen DGG cut it. Plaque Boy. I think it's something in the air, man. I think it's like when T-Pain cut it. Like I started growing them because of T-Pain and like Lil Wayne and.
But T-Pain went back. You saw him.
T-Pain went back. That's the thing. Once you cut him, you can always like reattach
you still
him.
got him, huh?
Yeah, I still got him in the bag because it's like the thing about dreads is just like it's like the one thing you can do as a black person that no one else can do.
Facts.
It's like a superpower. So I always just grew them because of that too. So
no, that's dope. I never locked them up. That's why I keep my braids though. Like it's something about I think when I met you, I had the short hair and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's something about having the braids. It's nostalgic for me too, obviously. But it's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to let it go until I got to.
Right, and
You
it
know
was
what I
just
mean?
like I didn't want to end up like have my hairline back here and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because all the pulling and stuff do at the while,
It's heavy.
But now we short hair, man. I can put headphones on perfectly. My hats fit perfectly. Right. It's a different planet, man. I'm not
living in a different world.
No regrets, man. No regrets. We good.
That's funny. So explain your musical journey, man, because like I met you through your brother Ammo, who's also a fucking super producer,
super mega producer. He just won Song of the Year last week.
Crazy.
And I won it back in 2012. So we got two people in the same house. And it's been times where he done had the #1 record in the country. I done had the #2. Like it's been like crazy times like that where you just can't explain, like two brothers, same house, same mother, same father.
Two brothers from Baltimore. East Baltimore. Yeah. Like and then the fact that you guys even do the type of records, like you're a little more East Baltimore aligned with your discography.
Mm-hmm.
Ammo's discography is just you're like, wait, this nigga's from
pop
where?
Pop hits. And when people don't realize, and I want people to know, like he writes it too.
Yeah.
He'll make the beat, and the next thing you know, he writing the melody in the same. But it's always been like that. Like since we were kids, we both came from the greatest free music conservatory in the modern world, which is the Black Church.
Right.
You look at Beyonce, you look at any performer, any Aretha, all them came from the Black Church, and they band came from there.
Right.
Like you know what I'm saying? Even like you look at the movie Sinners, like Miles just hopped up from the Black Church and was a lead actor in one of the best movies of the year.
Right.
Like that can't be explained. So that's where a lot of my background is. Like a lot of them choir rehearsals, a lot of them, my mom, like in our household, music was like the love language of the house. When my mom was happy, she playing. When she mad, we playing. We working through it. You know what I'm saying? So that was like that's where we both kind of came from. We both came from that in the house environment. And he used to always make beats. I always tried to like stay away from it. Like I was like, man, I'm gonna be. I was in school for like business and. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I'm gonna be a sports changer. Like at the end of the day, like I'm gonna be managing all y'all. Like
I'm gonna be getting the real money. Yeah.
Then when I made my first beat, I was like the universe stopped, and I was like, damn, this one I'm supposed to be doing for the rest of my life.
Nah,
it was just like, it was crazy, bro. It was crazy. Like I ain't never felt that feeling before, and the beat was trash, but I was listening to it every day. I was like, yo, one day I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna get better. And I just kept cooking up. And that was when I was like 13, 14.
Right.
Made my first beat. Then I had my first record on the radio by 17, 18, you know.
So where was Ammo in this time?
So during this time, he was right across the hall. Like, you know, right across the hall. I actually had a part of him getting on in a weird way. You know what I'm saying?
Like, hear this story.
So like around that time, like he was like in between jobs, like working at like a warehouse, and he was about to apply for Best Buy like that day. And I remember like this random producer, this big producer ended up in Baltimore. I forgot his name, but he ended up in Baltimore. So I used to always be on the blogs. Like that's where I lived on the internet. Like that was, I tell you later on, like that's even how I got on, was like through finding people's aims and instant messaging. And like that was before the, you know, the world got super saturated now with all these loop.
Can't do nothing.
Loop universe. Nah. But back then you used to be able to hit people direct. So I remember there's this website called PMP Worldwide.
I remember this. Yeah.
I tell my brother, I was like, bro, it's this website. All these industry producers are on it. You should join it. He's like, man, I ain't trying to do that. You know, he was like, he was the best producer I ever met. Like, he was like, he was one of the people like at 10, 11, he was like, he was like LeBron James. Like, you knew he was better than every other producer in Baltimore.
Right.
And me just being around that, I got better. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So he wasn't trying to do it. I ended up just signing him up for the website, right? Just signing him up. He ended up submitting some beats, and the person he submitted the beats to was like one of Dr. Luke's best friends.
Wow.
And yeah, ended up, and that's how he ended up in that whole Luke world and Luke train and all that stuff.
Wow.
Was through
and that's amazing because you would never think it would come from there.
No.
Never.
He's a low-key success story from
PMP Worldwide.
from that website. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, that's crazy. It always, bro, I always say it's like when you have two siblings who are both chasing kind of the same thing, though, it's like we all miss shit individually. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure there's so many things, if you would have just done it straight alone, you just would have had to learn the hard way along.
Right.
And vice versa though.
Right.
And that's the beauty of having like two heads.
So that's what happened. That's when I was like around like my first year of college, like everything started kind of changing for him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I'm at the HBCU, I'm at UMBS down the shore, majoring in African American history and business.
Yeah, brother.
All that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like the thing is, when I was in college, I knew I was gonna figure out a way to make money, right? Like I knew I was gonna figure it out. So I was like, yo, while I'm at a black college, let me just, major in something I want to major in. Like I'm gonna have to learn business. So I was like, yo, why not learn history from this institution?
Fair. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like nobody else goes.
They do it. They probably tell it better or more accurately.
Exactly. They'll probably give you a better lens on that. And it was just like, which is basically just like a history of our culture in this country. So it's a very beautiful thing, like that you might want to learn. A lot of people should read more into that. But once he signed with Luke, he ended up getting his first placement, right? And I was like,
that was Your Love Is My Drug?
No, his first placement was like this T-Pain song called Watch You Go by Jordan Sparks.
Oh.
T-Pain wrote it in like 2 seconds, right?
T-Pain, man.
So the craziest thing, I was like, yo, what? Like, I was like, what happened? How come he getting like songs and radio? Like, I didn't understand at this point. Now I was like, what did he do differently from when we was just in the house? And then
in the house.
And I was like, yo, he linked up with some big producer. So then that became my mission. I was like, all right, I'm gonna find a producer like to link up with, and so I used to be on AOL Instant Messenger. I used to always like look for people's Twitters, look for people's MySpaces, but they would always give their email. They would always give their AIM.
Right.
And then I found my favorite producer at the time, who was killing it on SoundClick, Kane Beats.
Right.
And I remember I sent him, he had on his AOL Instant Messenger, it was like, looking for samples, right? And so I was like, oh, yo, what's your email? I got samples for you. I sent him like 50 beats. He hits me, like, I was like, yo, 16-year-old producer. I hit him with the whole spill on the thing. And then he called me and was like, yo, these beats are crazy. Like, these are like, and so he's like, yo, give me the stems. And I didn't even know how to bounce stems and nothing like that at the time. He's like, let me just work on them. So I'm like, you Googling how do you bounce stems out of Logic and how do you I didn't know nothing, bro. So it was just like
you hadn't even gotten listen, I remember using Logic. You hadn't even gotten to buses yet.
For what?
No.
For
what? I don't need this shit.
No. So at least it was easier because at least I wouldn't have had the real time bouncing through the bus. So life got a little bit easier that I wasn't even busting. Like I don't even think I was EQing or nothing, bro. I was just going off of
vibes, on everything.
Vibes and Jesus. Like just the spirit was flowing through me for the beats, bro. So yeah, then I remember it was like one Sunday I was at church, bro. I was like, man, I was like 17-year-old me was like, I don't think this ever gonna happen for me. Like I can't. I was like, I'm so good. Like I knew I was like this ball of energy, this ball of music. Like I've still felt this fire, but I was like, yo, maybe it's not for me. So I went down to like the altar at church. I was like, God, if I'm supposed to be doing music, could you just give me some type of sign?
Right.
Because if I don't got that, I think I'm done. I'm gonna just go ahead and finish school, and that'll be that. Monday morning, Kane calls.
Wow.
Yo, T-Pain hopped on our beat. I'm like, what? Like, what you mean? I was like, huh? He's like, yo, T-Pain, Young Jeezy, Reverse Cowgirl. It's his next single. They about to put it out. I'm like,
so fast.
I'm like, what? And in music now, this don't happen all the time.
Oh, no.
Like this is like an anomaly, especially like
people record on stuff and it sit around. That's insane.
So that's when that was my first placement, and it was just like. That's when you learn the music side, then you learn the business side. And so it's like, I'm getting phone calls from people who work at Nappy Boy, like, hey man, who publishes you? Who like manages you? Who do all that? He's like, hey, sign this piece of paper and then we'll make sure the single really make it through. I'm like, huh? And so luckily, I'm telling my brother about all these people calling me because like word got out that like this some young 17-year-old producer from Baltimore got this song, T-Pain single about to drop. So like, right. I'm telling my brother, I'm like, yo, they say I got to sign this piece of paper or the song ain't coming out. So then my brother put me on the phone with Dr. Luke. Luke was like, yo, don't sign shit. And so then I called the dude back. I was like, yeah, Dr. Luke told me not to sign shit. And he was like, oh, you know Luke?
Changed everything.
Everything. And that's when I kind of realized like the power of like how music industry works. Like it's
right.
It's a power dynamic for sure.
Yeah. Oh, we can't fuck with him.
It's like, we just thought you were some broke kid from Baltimore. God dang it. We can't exploit you. Okay.
Oh, well. Do you got any friends?
Yeah, exactly, bro. So that's how that whole thing kind of panned out. And it was like, I saw him, my brother worked with this big producer, and he just got better so much fast. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you cannot put a price on, like, I know that all these producers nowadays, they don't think there's any value in signing to a producer.
No, yeah, but
they want to go to that publishing company and get the big check and all that stuff. But there's so many intangibles that I learned being signed to Kane.
And it's development, bro.
Yeah, like I mean, that's the thing.
Really development.
And also being pushed straight to the A team, straight to the big leagues, right?
Right.
So like my brother, he went straight from, making beats to working with the biggest pop artists in the world. Biggest writers. Yeah. You have the whole infrastructure to win. Same thing with me. I went from just not even doing writing sessions and stuff like that to working with Kane, who at the time was the hottest producer in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I remember I gave Kane Silent, right?
Oh.
Because he was like, yo, how are you making this beat? So I was like, yo, it's this plugin called Silent. I gave him Silent. He played the first sound on that. Steady Mobbing was the first beat he made. And then the second beat, he went to sound 2. Bedrock was the second beat he made all from, and he was like, yo, yeah, he was like, that plugin you gave me.
And niggas had Silence forever, be skipping the patch. When you know.
Yeah, and I think that's like the power of like new sounds. Like people don't understand, like don't get like carried away. Like
you can get lost too.
You can get lost in the sauce. But like at the time I was using like 2 plugins, bro. I was using like Silent and like Nexus.
Bro, that was all you needed.
That's it.
All you need.
And especially like at that time before those sounds were ran into the ground.
Bro. Like those horns used to be
at
the time.
Used to be wild. Like, like
because I think the Roger That horns are Nexus.
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying? Like super bass was heavily Nexus, that pluck. Yeah. Doom, 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 doom. Right. And then even like my brother E.T.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So Silent had its time. It was like, I guess the Juno or whatever of the time. But it's just like, it's so much beauty in mastering one synth. Like, I used to know sound lift like the back of my hand. Somebody could be like, hey, turn this synth into like a trumpet. All right, cool.
Right.
Learn
But
how.
silent was the best though too, because it was for a synthesizer, it was very simple. It was like, these are your wavetables. This is your, like, everything was laid out very well.
Yeah.
And then everything was very clear. Like, Serum's like the new silent now.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
yeah.
Serum 2 is out of control.
Out of control.
Out of
But
control.
Serum is definitely a bigger learning curve.
Oh my God,
Than like
yeah.
silent.
Oh my
Silent
God.
was like, you could get there pretty quickly. You had
Right.
a B, like, yeah.
I'm on like, I go to like YouTube and it's like, I'm looking at these wizards on the internet and they be like, this what you do on Serum. And they pressing all these knobs and I'm just like, I'm like intimidated, like, yo, I done made all these hits, but how did you do that? You know what I'm saying?
Because they know how to do that and not making no hits.
Exactly.
Like,
That's normally
the
normally
difference.
they spend all their time in that
In
sound
that
design.
work.
You know.
I mean, that's it's a different bag. There's one guy on the internet. His name's Dank Sauce or something. He makes like, bro, the shit he be doing in Ableton, like just with Ableton stock plugins, and then he like sells the plugins and stuff. But it's like, dude, like it's insane. It's like ridiculous.
That's a whole world. That's
a whole world sound design. But once again, like he makes these records and
right.
stuff.
And that's the whole thing. I mean, that's in like a lot of those folks. If you say, yo, finish this record,
yeah,
they be like, huh? What you mean? Like, I can make this vocal sound cool. I can make the synth sound cool, but to be able to like, a lot of people don't have that full scope.
Well, I mean, also because then it's like making a song. It's just like beat makers.
Yeah,
got a lot of good beat makers.
Oh my God.
But like being a beat maker and then being able to make a great song are two very different things.
And that's normally how I can like. Normally, how you can tell, you can separate people. Like, it'd be somebody, they'll come to your studio and they'll play you some of the craziest beats you ever heard in your life, where it's like they intimidating them. Everything's sitting where it's supposed to be.
Right.
Then you be like, yo, let me hear some demos and stuff you're working on. And they'll go to the wrong chord every time. They'll go into the wrong melody every time. You're like, oh, you still didn't figure out like that part of the music world yet. Beats are incredible. You know what I'm saying? But it's a whole different plan when you're talking songs.
Yeah.
And finishing a record.
Yeah.
It's a whole different planet, man.
And knowing what to keep in, knowing what to take out, knowing what needs to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And like, even especially like when you're collaborating with people, like co-producing with people, knowing where you fit in is a big part. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm seeing like now you get so many people that just email like the synth world now. People just email, hey man, here's some loops, here's some loops and stuff like that. Yeah. And it's just like that. You have to be special. You know what I mean? You have to figure out what people kind of need before you can just send a thing. Like I had a perfect position. Kane needed pop sound and stuff. Luke needed hard hood drums.
And I can supply both.
And I can supply both. Mm-hmm. And so like that's how me and Luke did Only and all those, like you got to do Nicki and then Kane super bass. So that's me doing pop.
Right.
And then Only is like me being rap. So it's like different versions of myself, different things I've studied, you know what I'm saying, and know how to do very well. But Kane didn't need me to do hood drums. Kane was one of the greatest, you know what I'm saying? Like his drums are insane. And you know what I'm saying? Like he is from that. Like he invented a lot of sound of that. And Luke don't need me for pop chords.
No, he got that coming.
Oh my God. So it's kind of like, it was kind of like that. It was kind of like that, where it was like getting where I fit in and knowing
your position when you got in the room.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, that's a big thing. Now everybody kind of just blindly sending loops that don't even apply. Like people send me fire loops all the time, but it's not me. That's not my world. It's like a Glorilla sounded loop or something like that. Like, yo, listen to what I've done. Like, I've never had no placements that kind of, I'm not saying I can't do it, but just kind of listen to what I do.
Strategic.
Yeah, exactly. Like
the right shit.
Yeah, exactly. That's just like an alley oop. And that's what I was doing with them. I was like, yo, I know he would like that. And I know he would like that. And that's how you got to kind of like move out here. So,
damn.
That was just like a beautiful
So how old were you when Super Bass came out?
21.
You was 21. Damn.
21.
So right before 18, you got one.
Yeah.
And then at 21, you got
So it was like Super Bass. I made that beat my first time in the big studio. Okay. That was my first time with mains.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Other than that, it was like my mom's basement. You know what I'm saying? Just like some HS5s and we had some other like no-name Fostex. And so it was the first time I went to a room and I could like hear everything.
Right.
I can hear every sound, like every single. I was like, yo, I can hear myself like breathing. I can hear the back synth. I could hear sounds I never heard. So that was the first beat I ever made in a real studio. Kane had to go to like a cookout that day, so he left me the room. So I got to start that beat, and then when he came back, he was like, yo, yeah. So we started working on it, and he basically asked me before he left. We just had a song come out with Trey Songz called "You Just Need Me." We had a song come out. So Super Bass is basically like a template of that. It's like a next evolution of what that Trey Songz beat was. So we was mixing that Trey Songz record that morning because it was about to drop. He was like, "Yo, just make some more beats like that." I was like, "All right, bet." So
wow.
Here that joint came, and that was like, that was a life changer. You know what I'm saying? Like that was like, it's the biggest female rap record of all time. And Billions of Streams, Diamond, you know what I'm saying? So it's literally like, a whopper. And so that's, and that was like the craziest thing. It was like, okay, now everything kind of changed. Like everything kind of changed. Like you walking around at 21, and that wasn't no like quick little hit and then dip from the charts.
Yeah, no. That you play that, you go to another country now at a resort, and that's gonna come on.
I mean, I think that's like a beautiful thing to be a part of an artist's song that makes their career. Incredible. And a song that kind of breaks them. But it was just like me and Kane had actually had one more on there, but the stems got lost somewhere. But on that same album, so this was kind of like we kind of felt like we were being slighted a little bit. Like we're gonna just throw this on the deluxe because the files to the other beat, which might have been better.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd that get lost?
I don't. You know how FL Studio work.
One of those.
It was one of them like corrupt, and Kane was working with 50 Cent that day. So, but Nicki needed the files right then and there. When Nicki wanted the files, I don't care who you working with. Give her the files. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We ain't have them. But we had to file the Super Bass.
and that worked out.
And that was perfect. And so we was like, that's where like a deluxe edition of a song ended up being such a huge thing. You know what I'm saying? And it was one of the first songs to go viral. You had Selena Gomez on the radio. What's your favorite song? This one is for the boys, Taylor Swift on the radio. What's your biggest song? I can rap Super Bass, Bieber and all these people. And then so many people got record deals doing covers of this song. So it turned into like a cultural phenomenon before the viral hit was even like a thing.
Damn.
And so like that was huge. You know what I'm saying? Like that was just like everything I needed. Like, and then 21 with that big of a record, I was still in Baltimore at the time. And it was just like, I felt like everybody knew. Like I was like, when I got my first check at 21 for a McNugget,
everybody knew.
I felt like I was walking around like, who knows, bro? That's when I moved out to Cali because I was like, it was just like, and nobody knew, or no one probably even cared, or could even like calculate.
They probably don't. It's the funny thing, they don't really realize, because since you're not the one rapping it, now if you was the one in the video,
exactly.
But they don't realize really how that. But you were smart to move.
And that was one of the main reasons why I kind of stay behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, and I don't be like, it's like my first time being in front of a microphone and talking. Yeah. And stuff like that, because I be chilling. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I'm not gonna be a target.
Exactly. Go ahead. Like, how much you said you made back in '95? Okay.
And with interest, that should be about.
So your aunt stay over there. hey. So it's like, it's definitely like a reason. But then also I realized like it's more to the story than that. Like people will look up to somebody like, yo, how you did that? And like I don't want people to think like this is impossible.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I could do it, if two brothers from the same house, same mother, same father, you know what I'm saying? We can do it. It's possible. You know what I'm saying? So it's more like trying to do this now for like inspiration, and then like even like
because people need to know, like it's your story and your brother's story are like it's an anomaly, bro. Like it's like some shit that like it doesn't happen. And then B, like for there to be, you guys are so humble and so like, you keep it tucked that people don't hear about it. But it's like I said, like, dude, like you don't even have a Wikipedia.
I don't.
I know, which is insane.
I don't, man.
Like insane.
It is.
Bro.
It is. And that's kind of like why now, like, I'm kind of shifting into this internet being more visible space, because it's like main reason is because I look at so many people who are giving advice on the internet and stuff like that,
and they
ain't done nothing, and they're not telling people like it's more to producing than just pressing these buttons and making these songs and stuff like that. And if you think that's all they're producing, it'll drive you insane. Right. You know what I'm saying? And like even like producers like who find their only value in their ability to produce. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's so much more to life than you just being a producer and you being able to finish a song. Like you shouldn't be judged, and your only sense of worth shouldn't be on your ability to output or enrich other people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. There is so much more to this experience. And I made my best beats when I wasn't even in the studio. I was in Portugal and I'm hearing this rhythm. where's this rhythm? I can't, man. This is Molly Funk. That's a crazy rhythm. I'm gonna add some 808s on that when I get back to the crib.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how Pitbull, Aliki came. It was like you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or it's like it's certain 808 patterns I done heard in clubs in Atlanta. I didn't think to pull out my iPhone to record that I can never find again. But it inspired me to make something like it when I got back.
Right.
Now it wasn't word for word, bar for bar, but like a lot of this stuff kind of happens outside of the studio. It's so much more
living.
So much more living. Living life is like, can inspire so much stuff. But how we look at it, now, it's like, oh, I don't got the biggest song in the world right now. I'm worthless. Or I'm like, nah. People look at it so wrong. Like, you're valuable. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just because you might be having a bad year or a bad couple beats, your last couple beats might not have been the best. but that's it's more to you than just that. You know what I'm saying? You can find like rest is productive, joy is productive. Like doing other things out, leaving that door is just as productive as being in the door. You know what I'm saying?
That's facts.
And a lot of people don't look at it like that, especially when we're forced in this LA shuffle to like, what you got right now?
Treadmill. What you doing lately?
What you doing right now? Ho, that was a couple years ago. What you doing for us right now?
Right.
The only reason they asking that because they want to lowball you.
Facts.
It's like
if you hot.
Yeah, it's like, you know what I'm saying? You look at somebody like a Quentin Tarantino or one of the people in the film world. Right. If you do a classic film, it don't matter when you did it.
That's facts.
You in that lexicon. Like, yo, this is what you could charge
forever
moving forward.
Yeah,
because that's what you know what I mean. Because we know that's the standard. That's where
music. They be like,
we got this young brother we found on SoundCloud that said he could do it for like, and that's the scary thing about where AI is going, because you're gonna get a whole bunch of A&Rs and record execs. They're just gonna write prompts all day.
That's it, bro.
And they don't even need you. And that's why I respect what y'all actors did when y'all said we gonna strike. Because one of the things they did was make sure that these film execs can't just write scripts all day with AI. They said it actually has to be writers in the room. All right, at least
a couple,
at least a few.
But even the way they worded that shit in the contract, they're like they got it where they're like, yeah, well, we'll come back in about 5 years and we'll see where we are.
Right.
It's like
exactly, and so it's like, and that's the one of the saddest thing about like music, like we will never get organized.
No, like the fact that there's no union in music.
We have no union, and it's unfortunate when I'm seeing so many, like, even like during COVID, like so many people I know could have used some relief, like during COVID and stuff like that. Where your tours is done, your healthcare. You know what I'm saying? We don't even have healthcare. What am I talking about?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That could have used some type of thing. And all these songwriters, how Spotify is just completely just ripping us to shreds, and how the labels are in bed with Spotify.
0.001% of a penny,
and labels being invested in Spotify to make sure. So it's like it's an
Ponzi scheme.
Yes, of course. That's why I realize music is like a big
Ponzi scheme, man.
Big time. And like even like trying to find your money, like, yo, you got to audit so many people.
And it's insane that it's the only, as a person who comes from I got my first money in film.
Yeah.
The checks they show up. They're just there.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like you're not usually tracking it down, and if so, SAG will track it down or whatever. But like when I got my first checks from like music, like things that weren't like commercials or like sync shit.
Yeah.
Oh, bro. Like no, like
did
you gotta hit up people and like,
oh yeah, it's like, oh, you need that. What?
Oh man, I thought you was good,
man. Let me look at some, bro. I know so many people you gotta like audit the artist, and it's just like, yo, why I shouldn't even have had to do this. But also,
then it cost you.
Yeah, exactly. Then it costs you, like, and luckily it's like a lot of good it's a lot of new agencies and stuff like that kind of fight for the producers, fight for a percentage, but now they will.
This is where we keep fucking up. I always say this as a people. See, this is what we need. Why don't we start those things?
Hey,
like those are the businesses I feel like as Black people we gotta start, like, because what a need, and what a void that was filled. Because you're right. It's if there's just an agency and you don't have to just go get your own attorney and do the whole.
I think even like the easiest thing is like 90% of the producers I know, they don't even know that we are entitled to SAG-AFTRA. Like. We have like, if you do like a song and you like play keys or something like that on there, there's money waiting for you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, right. Like performance.
Yeah,
royalties.
Performance royalties. So it's like, so many times I told my boy, I was like, yo, you did that big record, right? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, you play keys on it too? He's like, yeah, I'm listed as the credits. $15,000 waiting for him. My dad played bass on Price Tag, Jesse J.
Oh,
like Luke hooked that
that's
up.
Fire.
Yeah. Like Luke made that happen for him. So it's like, it be times where he'll get like, I remember one time this dude hitting him like, yo, you got money? Wait, my dad thought it was a scam. It was like 15 bands.
Yeah, that's, I can only imagine, especially older black men, they keep calling me talking about
they keep hitting my line like no. And then it wasn't. His name was on like that little list, and it's like so many things. Like if you were part of a record, there are performance royalties too. If you sung background, if you played the piano, if you played the bass, there's so much money out there. If there was just a person that collected those for people, like I had to go back and like write every single one of my placements because I didn't register nothing. Because I didn't know. This stuff I didn't know. So many producers did not know. Like, yo, you play keys on that. You program drums on that. Like, you are a performance. That is your thing, and you're entitled money. So it's little stuff like that where someone could just be a little middleman liaison, they take 10%, bro, and all they doing is filling out paperwork.
And that's what it is. Those are the businesses, bro. Like, sure. I feel like those are the things, those are the jobs AI is not going to take.
Right.
Because sadly enough, as we know, motherfuckers always going to not want to read.
Yeah.
People are always going to want to do shit quick.
Yeah.
And there will always be people trying to take advantage of other people when they're green.
Of course.
And so if you just are a facilitator of like, what is that? Blocking that bullshit a little bit.
Mm-hmm. That's why, like, honestly though, I got like the super premium. I got like the $200 a month ChatGPT.
Oh, you got the O2 shit.
Yeah, bro. But it's so crazy.
Is
like,
that different?
Yo, it does the deep research thing. So it's like, say it can like, it's even helped me like kind of get into that, like me doing stuff like this. It's kind of got, it just helps me like think clearer, like how I'm going to launch like internet content and things like that. But I had to look at like 3 of my contracts and it found loopholes.
Oh, wow. But see, attorneys about to be cooked.
Well, that's the thing. See, most of the attorneys, unfortunately, in the music industry have some type of bias towards the record industry.
No,
yeah,
you
just
don't
some type of bias.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's like if they representing you, but they also represent Bruno Mars, and your deal's with Atlantic, they're not gonna burn any bridges for you, little man. I hate to tell you. And like they're gonna make sure, like, oh yeah, and they having lunch. And my whole thing is like when they kind of give these people these messed up contracts, are they laughing? You think they laugh? You think they laugh at people in the other room?
I think that at this point it's not even funny anymore because it's just what we do.
Right.
Like I almost feel like it's more of like like we do this to everybody. It's like, I mean everybody take their shoes off when they come in. Like no, it's not. Like it's that.
Yeah, and so like that's like the that's the wildest thing. Like I put in ChatGPT. I was like, pretend you're the best lawyer in the world.
Right.
And for me to get unbiased legal advice like that, it found some things in there.
I was like,
I was just like, and then I took it to some real lawyers, and a lot of that stuff got legs. So it's just like, just having that for the first time, an unbiased legal team, and just pressing that button. Because mainly when you got lawyers, you're paying them for research. So you press a button in ChatGPT.
That's all they're doing.
And it gives you the exact times it happened, how many cases were won by your exact same case, and stuff like that. And so. It's just a wow. So yeah, so that world is going to be highly, highly, highly affected. But if you're like a young upcoming artist and stuff like that, I would first run it through that first.
Oh no, 100%.
Like if I had that back in the day, I wouldn't,
And then you don't have to do a lot of the bullshit for those super small deals that like aren't any real money. Like you don't have to go get this attorney who's taking half the shit. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's stuff like that. It's just like these young folks got so many fire tools, man. I wish I would have had like.
But then again, it's gonna be like. But then again, who's the deal you were even having to look at? What are the odds of a kid in 10 years getting that deal?
Exactly. But
because that same A&R who would give you that deal would have just done it himself.
Right.
And prompted it and been like, hey, can you do some drums on this? I'll give you $1,000.
Right.
Or shit, if that.
Right. And that's like the that's how they make. That's why another reason why songwriters, producers gotta get organized. We need the standardization of contracts, so they can't just go into the hood in Baltimore, hood in Chicago, say, "Hey man, we know you're in this desperate state. You have no material needs or nothing like that. Go $500. go ahead and take that." And you be like, "Yo, like, I know it's not my worth, but I got bills."
That shit, I'll take this quick $5.
Exactly.
And then niggas start doing man, I made them drums in like 10 minutes. It wasn't nothing. It's like, yeah, nigga, but you don't get it.
You don't understand.
You don't understand.
Yeah. So like,
that's how the TV game though is too. Like it's nice that we have the bare minimum. Like, oh, you're a co-star, you're going to get paid this much.
Right.
You're a guest star, this much type of show, whatever. But like, there's not a lot of like you still deal with the same bullshit that you deal with on the music side with like the agents and the managers and that whole game, because it turns into the same kind of thing you were saying, where it's like, well, yeah, like we care about your career, but we work with blah 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 over
Yeah.
there, and we're not burning any bridges.
They're not gonna burn no bridge for you ever.
No.
And that's just unfortunately, how it goes. So it's just like, okay, cool. You're not gonna burn no bridges. Let's figure out some type of standard. So no one bridge gets burned. So no, like, so everyone gets the fair shake. Like, it's crazy when you're talking like when like Taylor Swift and Kanye and Bieber and all these people say, yo, we got bad deals too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Drake, yeah. I mean,
epitome.
Hey man, that's how I go, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely did a lot of my work with Cash Money, so I know how that could go from time to time, man. So it's like, yeah, man, you really got to fight out here, man, to get what you.
It's funny, and it's just funny because I know with a lot of those companies too, it'll be like, oh no, you have to fight to take it, but like no love lost. We still fuck with you over here.
Yeah.
But we're not going to just send you the money.
Exactly. No,
like, no, we don't do that for anybody.
Right.
No.
Like, are you insane? Yeah. And it used to be this guy who, like, for a lot of people with, like, Cash Money, he would just go around and get people, like, their money somehow.
He's middleman.
Yeah. And then you get a check from, like, some type of, like, weird, like, company from, like, you like, huh? It'd be like Louisiana Oil, Birdman Oil Company. And you'd be like, all right, whatever.
Sure.
Give me that. I don't care. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's hilarious.
But nah, and
that nigga has a crazy holding company.
Yeah, bro. But a lot of these companies, they run their things however they run them, man. Yeah. So it's like, but it's tricky out here, bro. And that's that's another reason why like AI can benefit people. In that.
How do you think? And I'm sure you've typed this in AI, but how do you think even the music industry would go about unionizing? Because I almost feel like what we talked about earlier, not to cut you off, but like the fact that there's so few, like we said, the Lukes, the Timberlands, the Pharrells, the leader type artists are kind of falling by the wayside, and you're getting all these small artists. So it's like, it almost feels like it would be 10 times as hard to do now than it would have been in the past, because it would have been like, oh no, if we could get, if you could get Pharrell, Kanye before the stuff, Timberland,
we always got to put that caveat in Kanye now. I guess before he lost,
catchy beat, but bad words, bad words. But if you could do these things prior to, like I feel like you could get the crowd behind you, because it's like, oh, my favorite producers are saying that
they doing it.
Jay-Z, Beyonce,
right? If they're saying like, something's wrong,
right? But they've all kind of gotten theirs now.
Yeah, so it's like,
it's like,
and then like an unfortunate thing too is like just like what happened in America when people unionized back in the labor strikes and stuff like that. Scab labor happens. So then you got these big producers that are on strike, but little man over there,
I gotta get my
he ain't tied to ASCAP, BMI, nothing like that. So
he don't even know what that is.
So guess what? He gonna be producing Selena Gomez next album.
Yo, and that's the crazy part. Niggas be scared of that
exactly,
because there's one little motherfucker out there who ain't got the break, who gonna be nice.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, good enough.
Good enough. Yeah.
Good enough. So yeah, I mean that's an unfortunate thing, but like people got to just be in that whole community mindset. Like if one of us can't win, none. If all of us can't, none of us. But
good luck.
Yeah, I know. I mean, look, man. In this individualistic society of California and the music industry in America, every man for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I think it can be done. I don't know how it could happen, but I think we're gonna have to figure this out, because it's gonna get real. It's gonna get real pretty. It's gonna get real pretty soon. And good luck. Good luck. Good luck.
Nigga said, man, good luck. What's some stuff that you work or that you haven't worked on that you're excited to, that you would like to do?
That's another thing. I feel like the artists that really showcase my full sound, I haven't met yet. So it's not like I want to work with Doechii or like Doja Cat. And no. Even though I love to work with them, because it's like they're in the same lane of the female rap sound, and I help kind of architect.
Facts.
So that would be very beautiful. But I feel like there's an artist out there that might speak to my sound, like, and have him take me to new heights. Might not have the management yet, might not have the team yet, but there might be algorithms and stuff like that preventing me from seeing this artist. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's what happens. There's an artist out there for everyone that speaks directly to your needs, that's been through some of the same stuff, but it's these algorithms, it's these other things that block you and prevent you from seeing those people. Yeah. And so like, I think I just need to find that person. So that's what I'm excited to find, the artist that truly will help me showcase my sound, who I don't know
who they are yet. Like, I don't. So would you want that to be in that kind of situation? Would you want to like sign that artist and develop them, or is it more of like ideally you find somebody who's already halfway there, and then you know what I mean?
I could work either or. Like I never had nobody sign to me just because just the whole idea of saying, "Hey man, sign to me." It's like a very weird thing to me. Like,
Yeah,
and so now, like when someone signs, because I know how it is to be signed to people, and when things aren't going good, guess who you blame? Who the first person you blaming when life ain't great? You know what I'm saying?
But you signed me.
And it's just like, I feel like a lot of them contracts are so like restrictive, and I would really have
Sunset clause.
Yeah, I would really have to figure out a way to where it would be so fair for the artist where at any moment you want to go, you can leave and stuff like that. If it's not, I'd have to figure out a way for it to be ultra fair.
Yeah.
Like, cause
but
I'm
then
not.
You also got to be careful though, because motherfuckers be like, I'm not happy. I want to leave.
Right.
And then it's like they just go to like the
Yeah,
bigger check.
Of course, you put something in there like, okay, and if you sign a deal within the next like year or two after you,
I gotta get something
like that. But like other than that, like it just like tying someone's entire life and livelihood down because you got them to a piece of paper that they probably signed when they was a teenager is insanity.
Bro,
and
Hit Boy. Every time and shout out to him for figuring out how to navigate that.
Yeah.
And still winning. Fucking winning. But like when you look at that Polo deal.
Yeah.
Bro.
That's like, and that's
that nigga was like 18.
Yeah.
It's like,
look, I signed a lot of my deals when I was that age, so trust me, I know all about, I know how I know how I can go being a young man out here, just, somebody hand you a piece of paper. But, that's unfortunately like why we have to organize. The first thing is like, so if a younger Hit Boy wanted to fight it, the union would have to be there and be like, yo, so now it ain't you going to get, because
good luck.
These people in the record label, they love to go to court.
Yeah. Oh, they pay retainers for this.
They live in that world. You know what I'm saying? Like that now, that's battle rap for them. That's their whole thing. They found this bar in this contract, and they gonna hit you over the head with their haymaker, and they got it.
Right.
And so they live in that world. So it's like they know they can crush you with their money. And that's what, I'm saying? They find you're a young kid from some inner city. Of course, they gonna rip you to shreds once it comes to the courtroom.
Yeah.
And so that's what a union would do. Be like, okay, cool. I'm not going against you no more. We got these whole team of lawyers, these whole people. So now we can fight fair. Because it's not fair when the balance of power is so high and one person is worth all this money and all they want to do now is just crush you. They just wait for your money to run dry and then you out the way. And so it's like, it's stuff like that to where like, where songwriters and producers, we got to get on board. We got to, we got to fight. Cause like, I know a lot of producers like that. And so many people talk about the producers that made it and fought through it. But what about the producers that didn't? Think about the producers that so many songs, so many beautiful hit songs that we didn't get because
they packed it up.
They said, yo, I got to work this job.
Yeah.
I got to go, UPS hiring. I'm talented. I'm just as talented as these people and probably more talented, but
I can't.
This piece of paper got it so where I can't make no real money. And that's the whole thing too. Like even the music, it's not as much money as people be thinking either.
And that was going to be my other thing. It's like, even with the unionization of it, like I see a lot of this in film. It's like why they're making less TV shows and less movies because it's not making the money.
Right.
You know what I mean? It once did. And then it makes me wonder, it's like the music industry makes so much money because of how poorly done the deals are and how shady it is. So if they started doing it fair, would the juice be worth the squeeze to the same extent in their minds?
Right. But
that's what I wonder. Like, would you start seeing the same way in Hollywood? You're starting to see like, less studio spaces and less things like that. Would you start to see like, maybe we don't need all these offices in Santa Monica for.
If them not losing some offices, get some songwriters and producers paid what they fairly deserve.
No facts.
Sorry, y'all.
No fact. But that's what I'm saying. I wonder if that's just what it would have to be.
Yeah.
Or are they really making so much money that there's really room for all of this?
But the wild thing is, like, we all know with labels, they don't need all them people there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like a lot, and a lot of like the way the label has changed. Like back in the day, like producers and labels used to be like this. Mm-hmm. Like typically it would be like a L.A. Reid and a Babyface start a record label. So easy. They got the hits. They got the artists.
Right.
My favorite labels were all started by creatives. You know what I'm saying? Like Barry Gordy and Smokey, they let's go in Motown. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like all the creatives, the Rick Rubin and Russ. Yeah. They say let's start.
You know what's crazy? Each duo you name, that one got a
G. I'm like, yo, I'm in there.
I saw you start laughing.
I'm like, bro,
you said L.A. and you said Gordy and Smokey. Okay.
Yeah, it's wild, bro.
They going after everybody.
That's
boy.
how I go, man. But
Yeah.
you know,
but they started some great labels.
of course, that's what I'm saying. But they started as producers, as the
Yeah.
vision, as like, yo, we're gonna start with the songs first. Now, I just seen like, you know how Atlantic had that big layoff, I want to say 2 years ago. They
Right.
Atlanta and Warner, they moved to more of a Silicon Valley style of
Yes.
of music, to where it's like more algorithm based, more like, you know what I'm saying. So they taking the feel and the soul out of music. Instead of it being creatives, it's tech bros.
Yeah, well, it's not about being, because that's the funny thing. It's not about being creative.
Right.
It's about being able to hit a marker that we algorithmically know works.
Right.
And that's the job now. And
And-
that's why
and-
all music be sounding the same.
Yeah, and that's
what
the whole thing about like even the culture industry in movies. That's why we getting Spider-Man 10, Spider-Man 15,
Exactly.
and we don't get any original movies, because people would rather say, "Hey, this works. Let's keep throwing money behind this." Like, man, I think I've seen this movie 17 times. I don't need it. Like,
Right.
but they would rather say, "Oh, no, we know this can make the money, therefore we're gonna do it." And
the
that's
IP. We own the IP.
exactly. So we're gonna keep getting how many times they gonna make Spider-Man?
Bro. Spider-Man, what's the other one? We've gotten a lot of Avengers. I started looking at how many Marvel movies came out in a year one time. Marvel movies per year. Bro, it's insane.
Yeah.
Like, let me see, hold on. Per year. They put out, like, they're slowing down now, but there was like a time I was looking, and it was like they were dropping like 12, 15 a year, and it's
and that's
what
how
the fuck?
That's how planned and organized they are too. They got their next movies till like 2035. Like they know exactly what the next movies are gonna be too.
So Phase 1, Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2. See, this is when they were spacing them out, but then they started seeing it work. Thor, 2011, Avengers, then, well, okay, so they only kept, maybe it's the movies and 2017, they started dropping like 3.
I'm just glad they, because every black person in the world, he's like, you know, the only reason Marvel movies going crazy because of Blade. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad he got his flowers in Deadpool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I really needed that. Like, I almost left the theater. I was so happy. I was in there. I was like, that's right. Like,
Are we ever getting another Blade? Because
I think
Mahershala is out now.
I think, go ahead, man. Give Denzel that. I mean, well, give Wesley that payday, bro.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
Just do it.
agree.
Give the people what they want. He looked fantastic in Deadpool. Fit that universe so well.
Yeah.
Give him somebody. You know, let's ride. Let's get on. Let's get on.
Let's ride. Let's get
him out
Wesley
of here. Let's go, man.
Yeah, and they got to do it soon. They just need to do it.
Yeah,
soon.
I mean, it's fire, and it's like, yeah, I think it's a perfect time, perfect climate. You know, they probably gonna be like, hey, let's get Ryan Coogler to do it. He's good at He's good at vampire movies. Like, that's like the only thing Hollywood got from the whole Sinners movie. It's like
they'd be like Jordan Peele.
Exactly.
Or Ryan Coogler.
That's all they're gonna get from that Sinners doing so well. Is like, black people love vampire movies.
Yeah, we should make more of those.
Exactly. It's like, no.
There's more to it. Did you see the
Right.
symbolism?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're vampires.
Exactly. And so that's what we're gonna do.
Have we had a Black Twilight? You know they're gonna do that.
Exactly. You know how they get out. I mean, hey, vampire sell.
Shout out to the young black actors who will be in that Twilight.
Exactly.
Hey, it's better than
Hey,
not.
man. Exactly.
All right, I got this game.
Yeah.
Let's play. It's a this or that game.
Okay.
Producers edition.
Okay.
Okay. 808s or live bass?
808s. You know,
I
I was about to say, why are you going to finish
Why
that?
you even gonna finish
It's
that
some
one?
great live bass out here though too. Like,
I know.
like you go to the Lemonade beat with like what Bangladesh did. It really showed how the power of a well played live bass on an 808 track. It could really make the
Every
same
Kanye
movement.
song.
Yeah. Exactly.
Even like his like earlier stuff, obviously like the 808s weren't hidden, like his drums were a little weak early on, but the bass lines on like that College Dropout album and all that.
And
like,
if we even talking, not to keep going on bass, but I got you. My dad's a bass player. You know, he used to
Right.
be back with P-Funk and all that back in the day.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he used to like roadie and all that stuff. But man, you know who changed the game with bass? Like who like changed the way bass was played? It was Drake's uncle.
wait, who?
Drake, Larry Graham.
Really?
You know Larry Graham's his uncle.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so Larry Graham used to play with Sly and the Family Stone.
Oh.
But he was like he was the
bass.
bassist. So like, you know, all those hits they had.
If you want me to stay, that's him?
So he invented the slap bass technique. It was from him and his mom playing in the church, and they had no drummer, so he had to boom, 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 boom. That would changed the sound of bass. It was to the point to where Prince, him. It was to the point to where Prince turned Jehovah's Witness because of this brother right here, because he changed bass. So like that's what I'm saying. Like Drake, low key in the black world, isn't more influential than someone in his own immediate family. This brother right here.
That's
crazy. So yeah, man, you gotta get this dude.
And he looks exactly like Drake's dad.
Exactly, that's his brother.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
So like, and then Graham Central Station with his old funk stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
But as far as like him, he was the guy who changed the sound of bass, man.
Damn.
So salute to him. So
Yo,
that's why it's real tough to like decide when I'm talking bass. And like James Brown, so many good bass players. Oh my God.
No, that's why I asked, because I knew you would respect it.
The
but
personal bias.
808.
I done made $1 million off of 808.
No, I know.
I tell people that all the time, man. Like that's what I'm saying. Like
that is the greatest drum machine ever created.
Good Lord, rolling. Let's talk, baby.
Rolling, please.
Hey, so like I'm Team 808.
I feel it. This is actually I'm gonna ask this one as a question. What's the difference between a studio session with Nicki and what's the difference between a studio session with Sia?
Woo! So, me and Sia, we used to work every day. Like Sia was like, at one point, me and Sia was like, we was like that. You know, oh my God, it's too, bro, it's too tough. So Sia will write a song in 10 seconds.
Wow. Okay.
Sia will write a song in 10 seconds. Nicki, she'll go write that verse, but when she press play on that verse, boy, time stops. She's the greatest female rapper of all time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, oh my God, it's both of us. There's such like I'm just thinking about how many good moments I had with both of them. Like, yes, so many good memories with Sia. Like Sia is so fire, and so many good memories with Nicki. Like, it's just two different worlds. Two different worlds. Like Nicki from the New York rap world. So you know what I'm saying? She in there spitting bars. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like you in a rap session. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, so it's a little more. You gotta be on your. But
one's at night, one's during the day.
Yeah,
for sure. One's an afternoon session,
for sure,
and one is a 12 a.m. session.
Nigga gonna show up when she show up too, like you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that was like a lot of Cash Money. Like they you work with the Waynes and all them people. Oh, they say they you gonna be there all night. You can be there all night.
Yeah,
but
and then they might leave. Then they might come back. They might not come back.
Or they might be like, yo, I'm gonna be there at 8. I'm gonna be there. You're like, all right, cool. Midnight still, but
you cook it up.
Both incredible. Like I said, but like Sia is just like yeah, she's one of those like one of ones, and Nicki's a one of one. So it's like we're talking about two one of ones. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, different worlds.
No, I figure it's crazy because I was a Sia fan, bro. Like those first 2 albums she came out with, I found those super early with like Breathe Me and what was the other one, Color the Small One, and I was like, who the fuck is this person and why is she like so cold and I've never heard of her?
You want to hear one of my biggest regrets as a producer?
What?
So at the time when I was working with Sia, we was working almost every day. Uh-huh. I was just kind of under this impression that songwriters could never could never be artists.
Right.
That's just what you was told. Because you've seen so many examples around that time where it was like, I'm going to be the next superstar, and you just wasted a song.
Yeah.
I'm going to see her looked at me, and she was like, I want you to do my whole album. And I didn't know what that was at the time. And I was like busy. Like this is like the height of my joint too. So I was kind of like busy and stuff like that. And what's the dude? Kirsten? One of them dudes who knew what that was. Did Chandelier and and gave her every rocket in the world. And so it was just like, that was just one of the moments where I was like, I wish I didn't. Because any producer will tell you, don't ever waste your time working with no songwriter. Yeah. But I was just too young to realize like, yo, she's a one-on-one. She's a one-on-one voice of a generation, one of the most talented and dopest people. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I work good with people. Like her birthday's around mine, so it's
was this pre-Titanium?
This was either pre-Titanium or right after Wild Ones. I kind of forget
because I know when she did, it was either because Titanium was before Wild Ones, right? Yeah. And I just remember after she did that though, that was like the first thing, and like people had heard her really do. Like pop, her be the artist, and even though it's a David Guetta song, still, and then shit just changed after that. Yeah,
her voice stops time, bro. Her voice stops time.
Her voice is incredible.
I got probably like 20, 25 Sia records on my computer that we did back in the. We used to work all the time, bro, all the time. It was just beautiful time. She would come over to the crib, and we just cook up, and we'd go to Atlantic and just work, and it was just like good vibes, good energy, and she was
That's
like,
dope.
she was like a sis. Like that was just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cookups, man.
That's fire.
Yeah.
All right. Billboard #1 hit or a movie sync that pays forever?
Oh, that's not even a question. Give me that movie sync,
The
man.
movie,
That's what I'm saying. Like, once I got my first syncs, that changed the way I looked at the world. That's when I stopped chasing #1s. Is when I got my first big movie sync. I had this huge sync one time. I did it with Kalani.
Okay.
It was a Budweiser sync.
Oh wow.
And it was only in. We did it specifically. It was like this big director who directed like a James Bond movie. It was only in China, and it was only for Halloween, right? That's it. But it's this big 2-minute song. It's called Touch. It pays. It still pays. Every year, it pays more. So it's like, the first sync, it might be like, first year they run it, it might have been like half a McNugget. Then they run it again the next Halloween. And it's like they had this whole big festival out there. And like every Halloween, Budweiser kind of run this ad only in that demographic. It ain't even hit the States. So it's like one of them things. It was like one of them first times like getting kind of these syncs. You could really start, because music money is so like, you don't ever know when it's coming or how much it's going to be.
Yeah.
But like when you get a couple big syncs, you can start saying, yo, I know how much I'm going to make this year. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. So big syncs all day. My first sync was, and this would kind of change the way I looked at everything. My first sync I ever got was, I worked with this big DJ, because I got a lot of songs I did with DJs, like Presley, like around, we talking what?
The 2000s,
They were Sonics. Their Sonics were out of control. Insane. And they were the only people that like, I felt like was sparring like in the Sonic world, were like, yo, y'all really know what to do with this stuff. Y'all really study the craft. And
Sonics got lazy in the hip hop world, and Sonics and dance music
it started going that way. So I was kind of like in between both. You know what I'm saying? I got songs out with the Cascades and Diplos and all that stuff too, like that world. So I worked with this one DJ. I ain't gonna say his name, and he borrowed one of my beats. I would just say he did a really good recreation of a beat I played him in the session.
Right.
I get an email from this movie company, and they was like, yo, we need a beat like this. And it was the beat, the guy.
Like the one.
So I sent them the beat he stole.
That's amazing.
They gave me 40 bands. It was on the opening scene of Sabotage. And it was the first movie. It was Sabotage, like Terrence Howard and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah. And it was like David Ayer did it. It was the first time I did 3 movies with Ayer. We did Suicide Squad and we did Bright. And then we did Sabotage was the first time. It's just something about like the way my sound works, that dark 808 with the way he visions, like the way he envisioned LA, the way he like envisioned that dark. And I really worked sonically with his universe. So after that, I was like, yo, I ain't had to chase nobody down. Right. They just gave me that check. They said it's coming out April 15th. It came out April 15th. Like they didn't decide to change their album because they went through their relationship change or something happened with management. Right. And so ever since that kind of like switched my whole mindset. Like, yo, I don't want the charts no more. Like I kind of like started switching gears. Like, yeah, I want these syncs because I feel like I could like really plan.
You can plan, and the consistency's different.
Yeah.
And
I had this one sync that was like still one of the biggest syncs. It's this song Migos, Is You Ready? And
that shit was in
It was in
Is You Ready?
Yeah,
bro,
so
that shit got played so much. I didn't know you did that.
It was in the Captain America trailer. It was in the Fast and Furious trailer. It was in the Mile 22 trailer. So we talking, these is all 300-400. You know what I'm saying? It was in the official song in the MLB. It was in the Beats by Dre. So it was literally like it's a sync monster. And probably other than Bad and Bougie, it might be their highest grossing. You know what I'm saying?
And I believe it, yeah.
Just because we just talking pure sync killer. So when you getting stuff like that, you're like, yo, y'all can have this radio life. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and you're usually doing, you're doing the original record, but then you're also doing like the trailerization of them too sometimes, right?
Sometimes. Okay. But normally like them trailer houses, man, you give them the stems and
they just go.
Oh my God. Like, so for the Captain America one, it was the original version, but they got like somebody to do they got somebody to do like a crazy little drop, which was hard. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that was just like, it's super fire. And then Netflix used it for one of their trailers. So it's like, that was the gift that kept on giving. Like, that's probably like, it's probably my highest earner. Like even more than a super bass. You know what I'm saying? Just how much it like, Big bags.
So sinks are the way.
So sinks over number one. Sorry, I'm going so long in your answer.
No. I love it. I love it. Let's see. I don't like that one. Oh yeah, late night studio vibes or early morning sessions.
Jeez, man. See, I done made magic in both. Like the kind of like the older I started getting,
Early.
like, cause I used to never be able to, like, when I was really like starving and hungry and no placements, I didn't sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like, I would just look at everyone in the room and wait till everybody passed out. Like, I was going so hard because I was so young. I was like, yo, I ain't about to get out of work. All y'all in here are millionaires. All y'all got it already. I ain't got it right now. So guess what?
I'm here.
I'm here and I ain't leaving. So it's like that type of like, which is very unhealthy and very, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Which is wild. But at the same time, like, I was young and I
got you where you needed to go.
I need to get it. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta, grind.
Yeah.
And right now, creativity hits me in the morning. Like, every time, like, even since I was younger, like, I was just talking to my mom. She was like, when you was a baby, you was singing songs, when you was making praise songs, like, and I would just be like, man, that boy gonna be, I'm singing some. So like, even now, like, when I wake up in the morning, the beat hits me. Like, right. And like, sometimes I might just record on my phone. Sometimes I might go to the studio and just cook it all the way up. But the morning is where I feel fresh and stuff like that. But it's something about that midnight oil too, man. Yeah. It's something about when ain't nobody up around like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. And it feel like it's just you and all that untapped energy in LA when everybody's sleep is all going towards you. So it's something powerful about both. But right now, it definitely be in the morning. Back in the day, it was nighttime. But now it's like,
Damn, that's cool. What was the difference between working on like Suicide Squad and then like Crazy Rich Asians?
Man, Suicide Squad was, so I originally had, because I did No Better on there, and I originally had 2 other joints on there. So it was at the time with Suicide Squad, I was about to have a quarter of the soundtrack.
Damn.
Yeah, so it was looking like that was fantastic. You know what I'm saying? Amazing. And Crazy Rich Asians, we just did the me and Mad Max and Mark Ronson.
Shout out Max.
Yeah, exactly. My bro.
I gotta have. We keep talking about. I gotta have him come through. Actually, y'all should both come through.
Yeah, bro. You got him pull up. See, that's another thing. It's like what I try to tell people nowadays. Instead of like trying to reach out to a me or my brother, build with who's around you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's how you really win. 100%. A lot of the people that I started with used to be sleeping on couches, stuff like that, and not really having that many placements. And interns just struggling. They running labels now. And the songwriters is writing all the hits now.
That's true.
And so like, well, my ecosystem, Mad Max was my best friend in high school. I had no idea he made beats. We played on the same baseball team for like a year. And then one day I was talking my shit in school. I was like, yo, I make the best beats in this school. He's like, yo, I make beats too, right? I was like, what? He gave me them headphones. I was like,
nigga, you good.
I was like, yo, because we was homies before that. So that just like, ever since then we was locked in. And, he ended up doing 2 phones. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Kevin Gates' biggest record. And then like even, we had a song called Why You Mad, which was like Nicki, Birdman, and Wayne. And he was like 19 at the time, I think 19, 20. It was going on to Carter 4. But Birdman said, yo, I need a single. And I was talking with Wayne's lawyers, and I was in there happy. I was like, yo, we about to have one on the Carter 4. We was like going crazy because we young, you know what I mean?
Bro, and that's everything.
Wayne's my favorite rapper.
Yeah.
Wayne is my favorite rapper. So him to just breathe.
We grew with him.
Yes, I had dreads because of him. So to him just breathe on the track. And so like, that was just like a crazy thing.
That
like
nigga said.
Yeah, he was like, let me hold that, Playboy. And that was that. And that was that. You know what I'm saying? And it literally went to like, we were at the finish line. And I was about to have a Wayne Carter. But it's still like that was his first placement. And it was a Billboard Hot 100. So just like, for a Birdman record, it's still beautiful. Like when you look at how hard it is to get the Billboard charts, you know what I'm saying?
Period.
So you cannot take none of those for, there's so many people who like producers out here will get a bunch of respect who still ain't had singles yet.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And like me, my first like 5-6 records all charted. You know what I'm saying? Well, all like hit the chart. And so like, yeah, definitely and yeah, that was like Crazy Rich Asians was like already a finished song, but the stuff I did on Suicide Squad was tailor made for that movie.
Okay.
So like that was more fun for me. That was more fun, like getting into that world, Will Smith and that whole like, Margaret Robbie, all that whole like cast, bro. It's just like
Yeah, that's different. Were they sending you any like clips and shit to produce
So-
or was it more just like
sometimes you might get clips, sometimes you might just pull up to like wherever, I don't know.
like the what is it, the scoring house?
And they showing you like green screen stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what they did on Bright. They kind of just took us up to Netflix and showed us like I don't have that good of an imagination in the film world like I do with music demos.
So you like if you're not showing me
like
shit
I remember
done,
like I remember like watching like the Fast and Furious joints, them on strings and like a green screen. I'm like, yo, that really made me respect y'all actors though. If y'all can really just make some cloth behind you and act out like it's a big, y'all, everything's falling apart behind you and ain't nothing behind you but a green screen.
Nigga, listen. If somebody can put a baby in the beat and make it work, Timbaland, niggas, everybody has an imagination in a different field. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, nigga, you could take a whole bunch of pots and pans, and I know you'll turn that shit into something.
For sure.
But
For sure.
that imagination works there.
Yeah,
like,
exactly,
you know what I mean?
exactly. Like
yeah.
I just couldn't see it past, you know what I'm saying? That part of it. So yeah, Suicide Squad was definitely like
That's what it was.
Yeah.
All right, let me see. Work with a brand new artist with raw talent, or a superstar, and you can kind of be on autopilot.
Man, that's tough because he's like brand new is amazing because it's like an empty vessel, empty vehicle that you can kind of force your way on, especially if they say, yo. So it's like a weird way. If you were to word it brand new artist, but I get full creative control, or a well-established artist, I would take the brand new artist that I can get full creative control as long if they sign like a major label, something like that, where I know I have a chance.
Right.
Because
I love how you that's the key too, where you're like, brand new artist, I can get full control, but if they ain't got nothing going on yet, I know the chances are
yeah, like if they
slim.
got some type of like
some kind of deal of some sort,
something where I know if I give them these bangers, if I really go all in, that you got the vehicle
to get them out,
to push them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, big artists is kind of like a it's not always cracked up to be, you know, all the time, but if it's a single, it could go.
right?
But we're in such a weird time where labels don't, like back when I was doing it, labels had way more of a stronghold on the industry, the world. Nowadays, this small artist might have a bigger shot, bigger upside than the big artist. Cause like we've heard you do all these songs all the time. This young artist, he gonna go crazy on TikTok right now. He has a big, you know, we don't know what he could be. We'd rather go with this. You're the old dog doing the same trick. So it's real tricky. I think I would go new artist just cause I would be more like comfortable and I could kind of just like steer the ship a little better.
Right.
Unless it was like a guaranteed single with the big artist. Then we talking something different. They're like, yeah. Sorry, little man.
I'll be back.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be back after I get this.
I think this is a good Grammy win or scoring a major film.
Bro, Grammys mean absolutely nothing.
Scoring the film.
Give me the film, bro. Grammys is like Grammy schmammies. You know what I'm saying? I've been nominated for a bunch of Grammys. You know, it's crazy. Every single record where I produced over 3 or more tracks on it was nominated for a Grammy. Like the Kalani record. Kalani had a mixtape called You Should Be Here. And I did like 3, 4 in there. And somehow it was nominated. And even like all the joints when I had the Nicki albums, where I did like 3 or more on there, Grammy nod. We in there. So it's something about the Grammy Academy when they hear them sonics, they like, yo, but I don't want that. Give me that score, bro.
Yeah.
Give me that score.
Yeah.
Let me like, you know what I'm saying? Because my brain kind of works. Like I kind of realized when I was like working in that world, my brain, when I'm making beats, it's real visual. Yeah. So to kind of like see like when I'm looking at the streets or looking at the actor move, I'm looking at rhythms. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll go to like Africa for like a month and I'm looking at the way people move to a beat. And that is in my, you know, that's in my database now. So now when I'm making that rhythm, making that drum, I'm thinking about that person out there.
How they move.
Or in Atlanta. Or like, and then what did it look like? Like, so I'm painting that same picture using a sonic lens.
Yeah, it's the you see the atmosphere.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you can just go in based on.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy. Like we make beats from nothing. They are absolutely nothing. Well, now people use Splice.
Man, but remember when it was just blank canvas?
Remember?
Maybe you start with some chords, or maybe you get a drum pattern going.
Bro, you used to get laughed out the room if you would use loops or MIDI packs or any of this stuff.
Facts. It'd be like, nigga, what are you doing?
I remember people was looking at Love in This Club, and they was like, yo,
He cheated.
He used that logic loop. And same thing with like Umbrella, that drum loop. Everybody, those were the notables.
Yes.
Everybody else no. But they was like, yo, you know they was like, what? And it was still kind of looked at a little weird. Now we about to have people making full beats with AI.
Oh yeah, just with prompts.
Your prompts.
And then I redid the 808s on this.
And AI is getting crazy.
A lot of sync companies now are adding addendums though, where they're like no AI.
Yeah, a lot of record labels are too.
But how, like what? Because I guess they can't own it.
Well, a lot of the things, because I think it's a lot of good legal stuff happening behind the scenes with record labels and AI, especially like the bigger companies, to the point to where they're drawing from James Brown. They're drawing from Motown.
Right. Because they say ChatGPT is even just like trained on all
it's trained
Google.
It's trained on all the Google, and like ChatGPT, they use the language models of all these books from like, and
authors who should get paid.
Exactly. From like illegal, they figured out a lot of them stuff was like Grok and all that stuff was using illegal libraries. Like, like it's free internet libraries, but they just trained them on that because it's easy.
This is niggas with torrents. But
exactly.
Like, that's illegal contact libraries.
Exactly. So it's like a lot of the labels are kind of like, they'll let you kind of use it, but you have to have some type of human involvement,
right?
Because it's probably we're gonna look at some crazy lawsuits in the future when someone can say, yo, that AI sound like something my granddaddy made, like on that record that came out in '69. And so they really getting real tricky, bro. Some of the bass lines I get back from AI and stuff, it sound like an old black man who smoked a cigarette back in '90, back in '89 did it. Exactly. Like how'd you figure that out? How'd you figure out that pocket? Like we getting into some wild times, man.
That's crazy. That's a good one. Okay, you're on a desert island. You can make beats, but you only get one plug-in.
Okay.
What plug-in is it?
One plug-in?
One plug-in.
I would cheat, bro. If that was the case, one plug-in, I would get I would rewire like Reason.
That's smart.
Yeah, I would rewire like a Reason.
Everything's here. Drum DDX.
I'm just able to be rewired like crazy in my Studio One.
That actually.
Yeah, so that's what I want.
Studio One. Still loving Studio One.
Yeah. It does everything.
What version are they on now?
And that's what they didn't think about. They named it Studio One, and now we on like 10. Studio One 10, Studio One 9.
They didn't think that.
Like, what are y'all doing, bro? Like,
how much better is it from when you were telling me about this shit when you were at Amo's crib over here?
Way better.
It's like nice.
Oh my god! It's like it's made by people who love us. Love us. They love us producers. They trying to, it's so much stuff. I'm not gonna do like a whole promo ad, but they integrated Splice like in it now. You could like scans your beat and gives you perfect sounds for the beat you're making. You can change you put in a guitar, like say it's me strumming a guitar. It could go to any progression you want it to go to in 2 seconds.
So it's definitely like now on par with Ableton as far as like. Maybe not the warping. Ableton will always have the warping. Just like I feel like Pro Tools will always have tab to transient.
Yeah, of
like
course.
There's certain things.
No, and Studio
have.
One got tab to transient.
Oh, now that's different.
Yeah, Studio One got tab to transient.
How can no one else use that?
I don't know.
I don't understand because I'm like I know the niggas at Ableton know how to do that.
Right, of course.
But it must be like a licensing thing that they.
Right.
Get.
I wonder if it's like
Pro Tools owns it or
maybe they just want their own. Maybe it might mess up something else. Like anytime it's like something that they don't give us, I wonder if it messes up something else in the programming. To where like if they were to do this, it might but who knows?
The ones and zeros don't add up.
Exactly. That's what
the warping all of a sudden doesn't
work.
Of
course.
Yeah.
Just for that one feature, like we can't do it.
No, fuck that. Okay. Now let me see. I think I got one more for you. Haha, this is a good one. Produce the Rihanna comeback or Beyonce deep cut?
That's not even a question. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, I just saw Queen Mother Beyonce twice.
Oh, no, I saw on your story.
I saw it twice. So I went with my girl, and then my brother got a box that next week.
Oh.
So it was just like,
you had to go back.
I had to go back to see my dear Queen Mother Beyonce. And God bless her heart. Like, I mean, she's like, so Beyonce is the greatest female performer we have right now. Probably greatest performer we might have breathing.
Yeah.
As far I watch her.
The only person I'd say who'd give a run for her money would be Chris Brown.
Yeah, it was unfortunately
needs
to be free Chris Brown.
Yeah.
Because he's in the UK prison right now.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Chris Brown's in jail?
Apparently, hopefully it's not fake news and we just
No.
But
Wait.
from what I heard is that yeah, he got.
Oh shit! Hold on, I think this one just stopped. That one's still going?
This one's still going.
Okay, hold on. Let me make sure. Oh, it just started again.
Yeah.
See, this is why you gotta.
So you gotta look, gotta keep an eye.
I think that shit. Let me see something really quick.
Yeah, they caught him for like some old stuff in the UK.
Some old stuff. What the
Not,
fuck?
I didn't work with Chris. Talented DMV, Virginia. You know what I'm saying?
No, bro, he's one of the most talented.
No,
people.
he is like
it's insane.
He's better than Mike live performing. He's, of course, you can never beat Michael's songs because Michael had somebody named Quincy Jones. So you will never be able to compete with Michael.
Why are they not the latest? Chris Brown arrested hours after. Is that a real one though?
That's what I'm saying.
I see no like real article.
Chris Brown UK. Am I tripping? Did I get?
No, because it's coming up, but I'm not seeing like any. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's make.
UK, can you release Chris Brown? People are talking about
What's the top one? What are they saying on the top? Not the latest.
From private jet to prison van in less than 12 hours. Chris Brown leaving Manchester courthouse yesterday after being charged with GBH intent. With intent. What? With intent, his next court date is GBH intent. What the fuck is that?
Don't sound good.
GBH intent.
Sound like some UK like.
Yeah,
mess.
that sounds insane. Hold on, why don't we just ask Google?
Yeah.
Chris Brown arrested. That's wild.
Yeah, but he's like, he's hitting backflips and landing. He's like an NBA player.
Insane.
He's an NBA height player that can hit backflips and land on the one and do all the moves and sing and like his breath control. And also he figured out a way to really pimp the touring system. Like with them the way he does those backstage joints.
Oh,
bro, I know girl like so every city he might go through maybe 1,000, 2,000, and they charge them what 1,000, 2,000 to get back there.
Yeah.
So he making like an extra 100, 200 bands every city, and they get to live out their fantasy for 1 second.
And he got the pictures.
He grab a butt. They can like hold them, whatever they want. You know what I'm saying? And he figured out a way. If that's all going to him, he figured out some way. It don't got nothing to do with nobody else.
Also, think about this. This nigga figured out a way to still do tours. Like, you can say all you want about how, Hollywood is kind of blackballed. He can't do certain things. Fuck out of here, bro. This nigga's still selling out the Staples Center. That's incredible.
Because black women was like,
But he sings so good.
He can sing and dance.
British judge ordered him held in custody while facing allegations that he beat a music producer with a bottle in a London nightclub in 2023. Damn. That's so niggas just on tour and then they're like, hey.
That's really bad on his whoever his staff is for them not to know about that and get that clear before he crossed the water.
Facts.
Is real wild.
Because it was like, yeah, let him come. Let him come.
Like somebody could have got a heads up or a tip that he had a warrant or whatever it is in the UK.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, that's
free Chris Brown, man. Like
yeah, free Chris Brown, man. I thought you were just saying that when you're like free Chris Brown. Like he needs to be freed of all the.
Nah, I'm talking about baby. He's got locked up the other day, man, over some stuff he did a couple years ago, man.
Fucking.
But talented, like.
Well, no, top one. Man, top 3, top 2, maybe 1. I mean, the only person who we could compare him to, who's like of our era, is like what, Usher.
Usher. Yeah, Usher. I mean, Usher's Usher.
And then you could say like Bruno.
Bruno. You put Bruno. You could Bruno in that world.
But I wouldn't call Bruno an R&B singer.
Nah.
No, that's my point. So like I wouldn't put him in. So we're back to Usher and Chris Brown. Yeah. And then Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Like that's as far as that goes.
And it's just like, and it's unfortunate. Michael set the bar so high with his songs that no one will ever come close to just that magic because of Quincy. Yeah. Quincy Jones was in his prime. And he dedicated all his resources and power and connections. You saw he can make a phone call and make a television show. You saw the little documentary.
That shit was crazy.
He was doing that with somebody's album. So, yeah. And I don't know how that works. Like, will Chris be able to like ever reach that status?
No,
I think he's nerfed. I think he's nerfed in that.
Yeah. And it's like it's just a kid mistake. People will never look past it. And then the other thing too is like you know how this game is, and also you haven't been a good boy the whole time either.
Yeah,
you've been
you've
been real rowdy and real.
You've been acting like a rapper,
and that's so no. And but the fucked up thing is, I'm just happy he does what he wants, because even if he did try to play I did everything right, they still might not fucking give it to him. You know, or they'll wait till
That's why
he's dead. You know,
anybody decide who do stuff by their own rules and stuff like that. You know, they really tried to get him up out the industry, but his talent
exactly. So yeah,
it's too far. Yeah.
So what you picking?
Which was the question again?
The question was the Rihanna comeback single.
Oh, give me Riri.
Beyonce
is an album cut. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She's the greatest performer of
you still gonna get paid well off of that.
Exactly. But
that Rihanna comeback.
Stop.
That shit, and don't let it be a home run.
Stop. It don't even gotta be. Whatever she feeds people right now, they gonna eat.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Don't gotta be. We can go to AI and make her next single. And if she cut it, we out of here.
You're not right. And call it Fenty.
Exactly. Like, hey, we got one for you. We have ChatGPT write the lyrics, all that stuff.
It's over.
Like, you can't, like...
Bro, how much you think Calvin made off of We Found Love? He's the only name on it. Only name on We Found Love. He wrote it and produced it.
Phenomenal. I mean, he's always been just and it's like a couple producers that are just anomaly. Like in a class that are on them 100%ers like him. And one of my favorite beats was like on one of his albums. I think it was like 7-Day album. I forgot the name of it. It was called like School or something. He was sitting down, but it's like an instrumental. It's one of the most fire instrumentals. And It's like, I don't know how he did it. Like, it's one of them ones where it just like, it sound like it just sound like some old funk. Okay. But like, it was from that cloth. Like, and I used to just listen to that on loop. And I was like, yo, he gets it. Yeah. Cause certain people to like, genres don't matter no more. Mm-hmm. You're just so good at your craft. What, you want a rap song? Yeah. I can translate it to your language.
And it's dope too, because then those people who are that dope, they usually still do it in a way that is theirs. Yeah. Like I can see Calvin Harris making a rap song and it's still being like, yeah, but this don't sound like every other rap song. Right. But it's still effective.
Right. It's still that's what I love so much. Like when I was working with a lot of the DJs, they would just add this extra thing sometimes to the beat. So they would bring it into their world. So yeah, it's a rap beat, but they doing this extra little thing that like most rap producers probably couldn't figure out how to do.
Well, shit, look at me now.
Right, exactly. That is like the perfect little thing where it's cool.
If niggas don't find if they don't find that on Splice, they're not doing it.
Like, but also none of them EDM dudes could ever do drums like Metro.
No chance. I'll never forget. There was a DJ. I was with No ID, and there was this DJ who came in, huge dance DJ, and he was just playing a whole bunch of rap beats. He was like, "Yeah, I made like I made 15 of these today." Yep. And Dion was like, "Oh, word." When he left, he was like, it sounded like you made all those today. Like, he was like, because it's just this exactly what you're saying. Like, you're doing cool shit, but like the drums are just wrong. And Dion, that's drums. I mean, come on, hey. They're just wrong. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's funny how that doesn't translate. Like, they get what they get over here. Just like when you hear most hip hop producers try to make a poppy or dance song.
And that was a tough time. That was a hard time.
Bro, those beats were so bad.
It was like that Disturbia era was very tough. And then when every urban leaner producer trying to keep up with the times was trying to make EDM.
Bro.
But like, and that's one of my tall tale signs when I can tell if someone knows what they're doing. Like, because I done kind of like just figured out how to kind of make almost all the genres in like a sufficient type of way to where like, I done had songs with Britney, I done had songs with big DJs where I did the majority of production. I done had songs with rap artists to where it's believable. So like the first sign, like I can tell some producers like they're out of their warehouse. They'll just play like 4 beats and like, here goes some pop shit. And you'd be like, all right, cool, let me hear it. And it's like drums is like loud and like like, yo, that's not really pop.
That's not how that
you know what I'm saying? That's not, you know what I'm saying? And for some, and it'd be crazy because it'd be like someone who's like one of the best rap producers in the world.
Yeah.
But when it comes time for some reason, it won't translate. And same thing with like pop. It'd be that rap beats would be cheesy. You know what I'm saying? And like, I think like I was just kind of blessed to be in both worlds. I had to be believable.
And you had proper, I feel like that'd be the other thing too. You had proper exposure in both worlds. Like, right. You got to see, for example, I know like most of the shit I had came out in like the dance world, right?
Yeah.
But that was also because I was literally like I've been in the studio with Guetta, I've
Yeah.
been in the studio with W and Tiesto and all these
Yeah,
guys.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like, oh, I see what's expected here.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's like if you don't even know what's expected over there,
Right.
you doing shit that's expected over here, and
Mhm.
it is not the same shit.
Yeah.
Like it's not the same shit
Yeah.
at all. Like
Yeah, I cooked up with Getty. He cool.
oh man, he's great.
Cool.
He's great. It was Guetta and have you met Frederick Reister? He's like one of his like
Yeah. I don't know which one, but he had like an older dude.
older
with him
dude. That's right.
Who was
That's
like
right.
who was on it?
Yeah,
No,
bro. He be on it. He be quiet, headphones on, and that nigga be cooking up. He did memories and all that shit.
Yeah,
bro. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, them niggas be.
Yeah. Hey, but that's what it is. When you find that, you know what I'm saying? I remember him telling me when he met Afrojack, like he put up on him in like the hood of Amsterdam in like his basement or something, like just cooking up or like, so that's what it is. Like even like with producers, like part of it is that you got to just be willing to go to somebody's house in the basement.
Networking.
Yeah.
But like and honest networking, not just networking for the I know that this is gonna work out. A lot of times you don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah.
We a lot of it, like people don't understand, like a lot of music is spec. We're working off of pure speculation. There's nothing like we could go work with Beyonce tomorrow and we might not ever get paid. We can go work with Beyonce for a week and we might not ever get paid if nothing comes out.
Right.
Or if we do get paid, you work with Beyonce this week, you probably ain't gonna see that check till 2027.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of that stuff is just spec, bro.
And you might not. You're not gonna know unless you're actually plugged in, really plugged in. You're not gonna know that record's even in contention.
You're not gonna know much.
You're not gonna know shit, and then you're gonna know what a few days before it drops, or maybe just when the album drops. Like, oh, I made it.
Yeah, I know a bunch of producers that didn't find out till the day of, but it's the game. It is what it is. A lot of these artists, their rollout is secrecy, and so the less people that know, the better. It don't work always best for business, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's like to get the best version of that artist, for them to push that album is the element of surprise, and you got to respect that. You got to respect that for a lot of these artists, man.
That's fair. Well, listen, man. I think we covered it all. What's coming next? What you got coming up next? What you excited to start on?
So yeah, right now I just been kind of doing more of this, man.
Making this content. I like
it. Like I always thought this was a crazy thing. Then I seen a lot. I would work with artists from time to time, and I would see them mid session just go ahead and post a video. And I think we're getting into that Black Boy Max era where like you can just
I didn't even. Oh, so Pete, this I know I'm getting old. I didn't realize the nigga was a producer.
Yeah.
No, I didn't at all.
Yeah.
Until I just knew, like, I'm like, oh, this Black Boy, man, who is this guy? Oh, so he's a streamer. And then I started realizing niggas come on the show and be rapping and stuff. I'm like, oh, so he's been making beats. Was he big at making beats before streaming?
I'm not sure. I know he got like a Discord where people just kind of send beats and he's like, you know, making the play. The biggest job of being a producer is make the play happen. And artists come in there and they be on their best behavior. That's why like I was looking at the one session where they was like going a little left field, and he'd be shutting stuff down. Like, it would be funny to see him shut stuff down. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it was going a little left field, and I was like, yo, that's what a real session is like. Right. Welcome to the real. Like, we like it was like a bunch of people, they hood friends, like, yo, all these beats is trash. And like, I'm like, oh, yes. Now you in a real rap session. The camera's on, but you on a real rap session right now.
That's how it really feels.
Yeah, so it's like that type of thing now. Like that, I'm kind of more in that, getting my name, get my voice out there, and it's not that like I'm not trying to sell nobody no course or nothing like that. Yeah. I'm just sick of seeing people get bad advice from producers that ain't qualified to tell it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and it's just like I'm seeing a bunch of like, even when people hit me up all the time on DMs, I'm like, yo, y'all, where'd y'all hear that from? Like, this is like people are really giving bad advice that's gonna have you in a loop and stuff like that. So I'm kind of just like doing it as like helping out and kind of getting my name out there. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not gonna sell nobody on no like, hey man, here's how you get rich off of beats.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's never been your energy though. Like you're not. Yeah, it's. I know it's coming from a good place. And
it's like
just tired of seeing motherfuckers be misguided.
Yeah, dog. Yeah, it's like, you know, a lot of these problems could be like solved way faster instead of like these. Everyone wants to like. Everyone's doing it for like the spectacle. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So many people are just online. And you're just doing it and just trying to be trendy and hip, and they'll just like, you know, really send someone down a wrong path for content. Mm-hmm. 10 things you need to be doing as a producer.
Right.
Just for your content. You just got some young, hungry producer who's watching your video because you might be qualified, even though a lot of them ain't nothing more than glorified Guitar Center employees.
But you've done more than me, and that's all that.
Right,
At
exactly.
least you make it look like it. And
Exactly.
That's what that kid's buying. Yeah.
So it's like, you know, just trying to be a different voice out there. And like I said, I ain't on there to tell people how to make their beats doper or nothing like that. I'm just trying to tell people it's more to life than just making beats.
Facts.
And they shouldn't be valued only on their output and being able to enrich other people. You know, it's like way more to you than just like your one ability. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, you know, because I just seen a lot of people kind of like get depressed and you know, want to, you know,
Yeah.
even worse, all because of their music ain't going well. You know what I'm saying? Which is another reason why we got to get organized so we can have some type of mental health for us, you know, songwriters and stuff like that and producers. Because, you know, my mom was in mental health. So like me and my brother was always kind of like on it. You know, she was like, so how do you feel? Like we do something bad and my dad would still beat us. But she was like, how did you feel when you did that? You know what I'm saying? Right. And that's still, you know, that's still coming. But yeah, it's all that stuff, man. I can't, you know, I'm going back to Baltimore next week. I'm super excited. We ain't even do no Baltimore talk, man. You was in a what?
Oh, we gotta do. Listen, that's why we can go Baltimore.
Hey, man,
go Baltimore.
Come on, man. That's just why Baltimore, man. Nah, man.
It's so funny because I remember when I first met your brother. I didn't even know if you knew who it was. A session. It was a Sean Kingston session with
That's another one we got to be like.
Yeah.
The name, bro. It's crazy how much time has passed. How these people were in present day, like these names we've been saying, like you know how different the dynamic has changed,
and it shows you that like that shit they say, like they never really love you. They never really love you. It's just you're cool until I find out some shit, or until like legacies being just it's
all contingent.
Insane.
This whole thing is just all contingent.
It's all contingent on how you play out the next few years.
Right. Exactly. So that was just that was just wild, man. But
that was great. So I met him. It was him and Jay Cash.
Yeah.
And I was just hanging out with Sean. I was like, come to the studio. We working on blah blah blah. So I came by. And it's your brother and Cash, and we started talking, and I didn't even realize, like, your brother said something, and I was like, where are you from? He's like, Baltimore. And I'm like, yeah. And we connected over that, and then like later in the day, we started talking about The Wire. Yeah, because like he knew, but he knew. Like, I ain't gonna say that. Yeah, that's just so funny.
That was like the whole thing. It was like, now The Wire was just such a beautiful show. It just, you know, it showed Baltimore. It was definitely like a propaganda show, but they showed the other elements. Why is this person from the hood? Why does he want to do this? Why is he selling drugs? What are the other, you know? It definitely put a more like systemic lens on it. Like every single season, while y'all in the schools was the same type of thing. When I was in school, you know, some of the schools ain't have heat, and you know the constant perpetual underfunding of the school system in Baltimore, and all the money going out to PG County and all that stuff, and then they looking at these Baltimore kids that's going to violence and stuff like that. Like
why they test scores so low?
Right, and like it's something inherently wrong with these young black kids when it's like you could tell. So that's what I loved about The Wire. They actually put the lens on. Then they showed the role of the media. How does the media perpetuate these same things, and how do they play hand in hand with the police and all that stuff. So that's what was so far about The Wire. And they shot a lot of episodes. Well, not a lot. They shot some episodes by my church where in Baltimore where Omar's grandmother got her kufi, like Omar's when they broke the Sunday truce. I don't know if you've seen.
Oh yeah. What season is that? That's
bro, I don't know. Like,
is that season 3?
It'd be one of them.
1 or 3,
but
maybe.
That was right in front of my church where I grew up. Like that whole community is like where like. And then they had a couple like, bro, The Wire would show love. They would like film some episodes in my church. They go repaint the mural with Jesus and and tighten it up and stuff like that. And I knew a couple people who were like in the show, like from the area and stuff like that. Like
they used a lot of people.
They used a lot of people from the area, bro. I knew Donut, but I ain't never watched
Nathan?
Yeah, I never watched the show. I just knew him because he used to hoop. Like his cousins lived in my neighborhood.
What?
And they had a hoop. So I was just going up there to hoop, right? I ain't never seen The Wire or nothing like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't know till later that he was even like an actor or something like that. He was just around the way with his cousins and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's cool.
So yeah, I knew him like back in the day. And so like it's just crazy how much like the ties to Baltimore and the community, and like that show was just everything for us. We need more shows in Baltimore, man. If y'all watching out there, we can film something. That show was special, man.
It was. And I think it also, what I love about it, and what I love about most shows or like things that I like when people go to either rural areas, where there's not much going on, and then they find a way to show like basically how special rural areas and things like that can be. And whereas it's like a Baltimore, it's a major city, but it's not. But
Right.
The Wire did such a great job of like somebody said this before, but they're like the lead character in The Wire is Baltimore.
Exactly.
And that's what made it so
exactly.
good.
That's what, and I think that's what made Sinner so good. The main character was the blues.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was just like, and that's what something like Baltimore, and it's like, when they showcase such the beauty of the city, like why people are doing what they're doing instead of just making them all seem like complete animals. Like David Simon wrote a brilliant. Did you think, like, as far as like, if I'm talking like post Wire, would you have had Michael B. and Idris as the two most? Did you know, like, on set or when watching The Wire, did you know that they would have the biggest post Wire? Would you have put that on your bingo? On
my bingo card, I would have said, I would have given Idris, I would have said, this guy can, especially when you find out he's British.
Right.
Exactly. Damn.
He's like, hold on, you doing that New York accent?
Whoa, okay.
Now, how you feel about the, like, I know it was like a big thing, like Samuel L. Jackson, like, he was like, get that acting role to a Black American who'd have been through through the struggle. Like,
I'll say this. Does it bother me that fucking Cynthia Erivo played Harriet Tubman? Like, yeah.
It bothers me.
Yeah, it bothers me.
Like, sure. That one did. She killed Wicked, though.
Yeah, but I haven't seen Wicked, but it's just the fact of just like it's American, it's a Black American slave. Like there's a lot of great Black female
for sure. That grandmother's actually was in them type. It's a very specific set of conditions that.
Yes.
And it was like it was some tweets that like
No, yeah, that didn't help.
So it was that whole thing.
And also, I can't lie to you, the whole crying and all the Wicked thing. It's a bit much.
Yeah.
But other than that, every time I see these niggas, I be like, damn, they're good. Like. Idris is a fantastic actor. Damson is a fantastic actor. Fucking Daniel Kaluuya, fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I was mad. He go ahead and play Fred Hampton, bro. Go ahead and play that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. As long as someone is like, and as long as someone's like super qualified and all that stuff, and you were like, and you did your craft, but if someone's like getting in front of the line and you aren't, and then you're just literally got this job because you're not of this.
I think that adds to it though, because it's also like, let's just be real, man. It's just like a tall, good-looking British nigga walks into a room, like, like every chick in here about to be enthralled with his accent.
Of course.
So, but that carries over, though.
Right.
It's like all across America. So even the motherfucking casting you is kind of like...
It's like, something different. But the whole thing, you've been in the UK. It's the same for you. When you go to the UK, it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
America.
Bro, exactly. I just said, you say two words in the UK, your accent, bro. You pulling them. It turn different. Because every single rap song, every single movie they've ever seen is you.
Right.
And so it's like, it's a whole different dynamic. But
in China, they just stare at you.
Yeah, China, they
they looked at me, they was looking at me like, it was the shit felt like Menace to Society. Like I'm walking around the little 7-Eleven. They just following me, just looking. And I'm just like, I'm not going to take anything here. Like, it's China. Like, I don't know how y'all get down over here with you. No.
They thought you was
paying for
They thought you was LeAngelo Ball.
No. Bro, even when that happened, I was like, man, these boys are bold.
Yeah.
Cause that's not. I'm not fucking.
Oh yeah.
I'm not fucking with playing those games. I mean, I don't do that here, but God forbid in another country.
That's what's scary. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened. Didn't like Future's DJ get caught with some weed ass
56 nights.
Yeah, I know people that got caught up in them other countries, and it's not fun.
No,
it's not fun.
It's not worth it. It's not whatever you were gonna do. Like, if I'm going to Japan, and I feel like you'd be better off in Japan than some places. But if I'm going to Japan or going to any of these places, I'm like, no, weed, no. I won't smoke. Yeah. I'll be fine. I'll make it through.
Facts.
Yeah.
But no, that's fire, man. And salute to you. I know you been having that co-host.
Oh yeah, LaMicah.
Bro, I never met him, but I'm a fan of Gerald.
Bro.
So it's just like
he's currently in Costa Rica, but if he was here, he would have been in on. But
salute to Gerald Levert is the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Gerald Levert was the first person to ever have a rap artist on a song, like a R&B rap collab. You know what I'm saying? It was like them and Heavy D, and then like his granddaddy Eddie.
Oh, Eddie, bro, we have an interview with Eddie.
Backstabber, smiling face. So, he used to be. So they was with Kings. I think they were with Kings Records at first. I think I think his group was the King's Records at first. Then they moved on to Gamble and Huff.
Yeah.
And Gamble and Huff was the ones, you know,
Gave him them hits, boy.
smiling in your face, and then
All the time to want to take your place.
and then Love Train, and then Money, 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 Money. And
then there's
and that Ships Ahoy album, so like, you know, Gamble and Huff, they were like politically aware. They are the perfect ways to be producers. They were black conscious. Like, you go to Philly, they didn't build schools. They would take that money, and then I know at first, I forgot the name of Eddie's group, the big Eddie's group, OJ's.
Yeah.
So at first, I know they didn't want to do them politically aware songs, like, you know what I'm saying, like, but you know, Gamble gave them smashes. They was like, yo, y'all the perfect vehicle to do both. Where you can have songs that's going to influence black people and be politically aware and stuff like that. Like, you know, Ships Ahoy was like the transatlantic slave thing. And like Money, Money, Money and all that stuff was like, you know, it was about like greed. And like, it wasn't like these weren't songs to glorify this stuff.
They weren't.
Exactly. And like, you know what I'm saying? And like that.
Songs with lessons that still permeated and everyone got used to this day.
Yeah, and that was just, I think, so fire. And then the fact that we have never really seen what they did in black music, where my son. When have we seen a son? Because we move on. We move on. You know, I don't know any big artist that they son got a fair shot in the music. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Where it's like two generations. Like, I didn't work with Enrique. His dad was a huge artist in like in Latin world, and he put on his son. And you know what I'm saying? Wow. We don't do that in like it's like it's hard to do in that world. So
we don't do that enough with any of our.
Yeah, it's because we are so good at innovating, because our whole fundamental relationship in this country, we had to keep changing. So we move on. We go make funk, we make soul, we make R&B, and we move on. Right. And we go to the next sound. And then you get K-pop, and they say, hold on with that 90s R&B, Teddy Riley and all that stuff.
We're going to sit right here.
We're going to stay there. Right. Number one after number one after number one. And so, I mean, I think that's what's so fire about the Leverts, man. It was just like, my grandmother listened to them, you know what I'm saying? And it was just... And I don't think nobody wanted to sign Levert at first. And so I think Eddie had to be like, yo, I'm going to sign him. You know what I'm saying? Because they was like, he sound too much like his pops at first in that regard. Because he did. And it was just like, and when I listened to like that music, it was like, he was like the last of soul. Mm-hmm. He was the last thread, leaving and because all the people his dad and them was around. He was the last of that soul voice transitioning to the early 2000s. Mm-hmm. So that was a tough transition.
And that's the end of that R&B too.
And he still had them. What was it? LSD. What was it?
Yeah.
He still had My Body. He still was pumping out hits, even in that last, that last stretch into the 90s where like them big voices, they was getting up out of here. You know what I'm saying? I can't imagine what it must have been like for him to sit in the label and have a label tell you your song not hot. And here you are, you're like, yo, I know this is hot. I come from the cloth. I am the cloth that it comes from. And some A&R is like, no, you know what? That's not good.
You know what's really working is...
Yeah, it's like, let's go to the Backstreet Boys. He like, what? He was like, he was like, what? I couldn't imagine how to stay sane in that regard. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like when you come from like such high caliber and stuff like, and like, even in Ohio, like even King's Records were the biggest, the record that changed it all was Cold Sweat by James Brown. He recorded that at King's Ohio at King's Studio in Ohio. Boosie lived right down the street from there in Cincinnati. Osley Brothers still on the same side of the street, and we ain't even left Ohio yet. You know what I'm saying? And then the Leverts, Leverts, they was Cleveland. Exactly. Yeah. So it's just like so much black music, so much black history in that little area that don't get enough love. The little labels, the little boutique labels like King's that had James Brown and had the OJs at one point, but then they switched over to the Gamble and Huff. But yeah, man, salute to them, man. I've always been a fan of them, man. But
wild. And you, bro, shout out to you too. You be knowing your fucking history too. Because I even saw... What are some of those books that you had in your story after you watched Sinners? What were?
So one was Blues People by Mary Baraka. Now that's a fire book because Coogler actually gave Delroy and gave all the actors that book. Okay. Like that was one he actually handed out and said, yo, y'all got to read this. And basically it's like our music is our history. It's one and the same. There is no separation between our music and our story. Right. I could tell you all this music history, all this music facts, because I've been around it and I've studied it and I've read on it. Or my mother could go play you Amazing Grace in black gospel style. It's the same thing.
Right.
It's the history of our story and our pain and our people and how we translate it, either through words or through our music. And that's what it shows, how we blues people and how, trying to make sense of this new world. It was that one. It was the banjo, which is another fire book. Like, it's like America's African instrument, which basically talked about how, like, the first thing slaves did in this new world, trying to make sense of it. We made the banjo. Like that was one of the things we had back in Africa with our griot and storytelling and stuff like that. So we would do that and tell our stories and play our songs. And then once the dominant society got on it, they made fun of us. They made it minstrelsy. And then they made all these type things and like, and how it changed. And that is the origins of folk music. It's, Hans Sloan was like this old explorer. He wrote this, this thing when he was on, it's called The Musical Passage. It's like a website you can look at now.
Okay.
And he went to all the plantations and played and like had an African with him who transcribed all the melodies that they was doing back in the early like 1600s. And it sounded like Mumford and Sons. Like if you go listen to it, it's like old like Mumford and Sons sound and stuff like that. And so
the musical what?
It's called the musical passage. It's like a Hans Sloan when he went out there. But you listen to them loops and it's like, yo, this is like what folk music is now. This is what, and so it's basically how that music was taken from black people and re-shipped, and then they made people think it was like Sweeney and all those other people who was actually created the banjo when they didn't. It was Africans. Like it's written about that in history. And then when they came here, that was our way of like communicating. Yeah. And at first, because they banned the drum. Because like for Africans, when we first came here, they made the drum illegal. Why? Because rhythm started playing, plantation started burning down. Rhythm started playing, right. Master getting poisoned and stuff like that. And so that's why even now when you look at the diaspora of just drums, how we change, like how we program our drums, how drummers play. A drummer from New York and a drummer from LA plays completely different.
Right.
Their pocket's different from an Atlanta drummer. Same thing with hood beats.
Right.
Mustard. His bounce is different than Atlanta. South Atlanta and North Atlanta got different bounces. That's why being a rap producer, you really got to know the bounce.
Because it's more nuanced.
You can't just make a rap beat like you can a pop beat. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a difference from, okay, make a South beat. What part of the South? Because Memphis is different than Atlanta bounce. Yeah. New York bounce is different than Philly bounce. And Houston, Baltimore, we do our club music. Now Philly and Jersey done borrowed from that. I ain't gonna get into that this time. You know what I'm saying? But we started it.
And Chicago got
hey, shout out. Hey, come on now. That's what we talking about. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the genres in America started from that. Just oppressed communities trying to make sense of the world that they was living in. And they said, okay, we're gonna make this pattern. We're gonna make this drums. New York, we're gonna make hip hop. Chicago, we're gonna make house. Detroit say, I like what y'all doing at that house. We gonna go add to that. And Baltimore, you know what I'm saying? And that's why we saluting back to James Brown, because club music is from James Brown. We use that loop on that song.
Use that shit forever, right?
And that's what we was doing. And so he gave us funk, he gave us the early drum loop to hip hop, and he gave us Baltimore club music, and he gave us like this.
James Brown gave us
he was a tree.
Of shit. Yeah.
He was a tree, and it all started like King's Records right there in Ohio, which is just like. Which is crazy. Salute to all that.
See, this, bro. See, you know what? Maybe that should be something you do in socials. Do like, cause you know so much, bro. And I knew you knew a lot, but it's just like, and it gets you excited.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if you just picked like almost like Black music history facts, and then or showing how things like that would be something that like
no for sure. For sure, I definitely dive into that because it's like, yo, I know.
And that's really teaching people some shit that they would never find.
Because that'd be the toughest thing. It's like, nobody read no more. And that's real tough. I love to read. You know what
they used to say, right? You want to hide something from a nigga, put it in a book.
And that's crazy. And that's insanity, bro. And that's the truth. But now, but now we got people on TikTok, trying to act like they are the final boss. People on TikTok who don't read are telling people stories.
Thank you.
And trying to interpret and analyze and stuff.
And then trying to analyze and hyper-analyze some shit in 20 seconds that is way more nuanced.
That's why I really like what Mark Lamar Hill's doing on the because it really shows when someone's educated and someone's studied and an actual professor versus regular niggas. And he is wiping the floor.
That one word to Buddy. Did you see that one clip?
Which one?
He was saying something to somebody. He was like, yeah, that was actually, he said some word to the light-skinned niggas on Joe Budden's podcast. Oh, and he didn't like it because it was a word he didn't know.
Yeah.
And he was like, I mean, why you got to keep saying it like that? He's like, no, I'm just saying he didn't like it.
Bro, and that's what it is. When you got somebody like who really educated, they'll wipe the floor. They wipe the floor with me because they just know too much. You know what I'm saying? Right. They know a lot. You know what I'm saying? I know my stuff, but when you get someone who actually spent their life studying it, like every time you've been studying scripts and stuff like that, and every time you're making beats, all they've been doing is reading books. Like, I don't got time to
I
do all
can't
that.
beat
You know what I'm saying? I can't work with that. Hey, you got, and they had professors and spent all their money on that. And you can't
make an 808 pattern.
Exactly. Like, you got, that's how it is sometimes. Like, when you'd have been beaten verbally, it's like, how much money you got though? I would never go there, but I hate people who go there.
When niggas go there though, that means, so you've exhausted all
Exactly. Oh, you're done.
You're done.
When you start talking money and women and things like that, and like,
I get more bitches than you.
It's like, okay,
buddy.
And I can't believe you got one of these, man, because this is where the black community's falling. This is where this is the agent of the CIA, the podcast, Mike.
Because niggas just want to tell on themselves.
It's like right here, it's like telling themselves, or it's like, how many gorillas can you beat? Like, it's like, okay, it's like, yo, we are.
You don't believe.
Not for a second.
Okay, thank you. Just making sure. 100 men are not beating a gorilla.
Once the first ones get their heads cut off.
Niggas are.
They gone.
Yeah, they're gone.
The survival turns into the thing because you in gorilla world.
And I keep telling people, I'm like, with no weapons and the size of just their fingers, and like, if he just scratches his back too hard, he's killing you.
Yeah, and I've seen bears and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, my brother got we got a ranch way out.
Oh yeah,
in the middle of nowhere, and there's bears out there sometimes. And I look at them things, and if a grizzly swipe, your whole body's going, like, you're gonna lose a limb.
Yeah. Oh no, facts.
So
you're gonna tear apart.
Yeah. It's like the sharpest knife you could have, and strength.
Yeah.
So it's like, so no, impossible. Sorry. But that's what these podcast mics, they just like, it's like CIA just gives us a little talking point for the week to distract us from all the stuff that's going on. Brother. And then it's like,
it's just like, look, you got this, and then when this is over, then you got sports.
Exactly.
Then when sports is over,
and that was like one of the wildest things. It was like, I remember when the Wild 7 Baltimore was happening with Freddie Gray and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm going into the barbershop out here in LA that day. I'm hearing brothers in there yelling. I'm like, yeah, we about to get in there talking. Yeah, cause I'm from Baltimore. So I'm like, yo, this really affecting me. Let's go in there and talk. LeBron going.
Y'all niggas don't even.
I'm like, yo, so they in there. I mean, but that's things we're allowed to yell and scream and argue about that. But if we were to start talking about, like, hey, maybe there's something wrong with the police in Baltimore, and that it might cause horrible conditions like this to happen to,
bro,
I don't know, black folk in the back of a paddy wagon car.
But I feel like that's the case with. That's the case with all this shit, bro. Even the way that we're programmed, and you already know, with even how risque and the music has even gotten and everything. Yeah. It's like, it's not the root of the issue, but it doesn't help.
Yeah.
It fuels the fire. You know what I mean? And it's just like, this is really, I know a bunch of niggas who a bunch of my friends have no money in the market, but, or can't tell you at all what any company stock price is, but they can tell me all the stats for fucking LeBron or fucking
Yeah, I mean that's how they do
Halliburton.
We are really, really good at majoring in all the minor shit. That's a
great way to put it.
We're incredible at that, and like even with like the music and stuff like that, we don't own or control any of these labels. So like it's like
or these basketball teams,
right?
Or
nothing like that,
teams.
Or like that. But you got, like, once again, just like me, you got this young black kid who looking up, or we're from these inner cities, Baltimore. Mm-hmm. I mean Chicago, Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? And people are like, how can I make it out? And so they look to this. That's all they got. Entertainment. You know what I'm saying? If you really want to make it in this world, the one thing you could definitely do, all you gotta do is feed into the delusions of the dominant society.
That is true.
You want to see me? You want to be a good rapper? I show you how.
I'll show you a good rapper.
Hey, I can sign you today. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take you down to Baltimore. I'm gonna get 100 people to stand behind you, and we gonna feed into all the delusions of black people. Y'all gonna be angry, y'all gonna be mad, and they gonna say, hey, you got your neighborhood on lock. Why don't you come join this label, Tekashi? We just went to the hood and rented some black folk.
Right. Rent it for real.
Yeah. Let me borrow y'all for this video. Oh my God. He's got all of New York on lock. You want this here record deal?
$1 million.
And so we know, I mean, the parameters are already set. We know how to display the worst of us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. To get, and like, but it works. And this horrible,
and it's tough.
And in this horrible moment, people are like, yo, they got to eat.
Yeah, because that's the main thing. Is when you tell a nigga who's hungry, and it's like, well, this can change generations of my family's life.
Yeah.
Well, I guess this is what I'm doing today.
Exactly. And why wouldn't they? You know what I'm saying? And that's the harsh reality. That's the thing. That's always the plight of this damn entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Like, they laughing at me or laughing with me. And it's just like, it's been so many examples of black folk musically just basically selling out for profit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's crazy.
I gotta get mine.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, you can even, bro, one last little thing, last little history fact. There's this guy named James Bland. James Bland, like late 1800s.
Oh, okay.
The biggest songwriter in the world, black man. Biggest songwriter in America. He wrote this song called Golden Slippers. Oh, them golden slippers. And he wrote this other song called Old Virginia. Take me back to Old Virginia. Right?
Okay.
Old Virginia was the national anthem of Virginia. Was like the national anthem for the state of Virginia until about 10 years ago.
Whoa.
Now, here go the thing about James Bland. He was writing songs from a perspective of black people that were enslaved that wanted to go back. So to slavery. Now, he was never enslaved. He went to Howard. His mom and dad were like rich, but he wrote from this perspective, and guess who loved it?
White folk.
Yes. And he
was a good one.
When I say he could write a hit, boy, and it was like, and that's one thing. It was like, take me back to Old Virginia, where the land and the cotton were free, where I can eat. Like it was all his songs were basically writing from perspective of someone who never endured the harsh realities of slavery, and that's what we getting a lot of them now.
What? 100%.
That's what it is. It's like that from that
Niggas who
lens.
talk right about selling drugs and doing about it, never did it.
Never did it.
That's crazy. You know what's funny? Hey, that nigga James Bland was sitting somewhere with his bread like, hey, well, I gotta get mine.
Exactly.
You niggas over here keep trying to do that shit.
Right. And they wrote like 5 minstrel. He wrote like 5 minstrel shows where black people were dressed up in blackface. But his songs, and that's the thing about when you can write a catchy song, his songs were amazing. Even now, you can listen to him now, and the melodies will blow you away. Like he was that good. Like of American-minded music, like
hey, you know what? If it was a different era, we could probably go back and hear all the songs he wrote before he started doing that shit, and they're probably great.
Exactly.
But they probably ain't getting no more.
As soon as he started, he was like, "Hold on, I can sell these good old white folk."
Started dating a white woman. She's like, you should start making songs about.
He's like, you think that? You don't think my people will be mad at me, James?
Well, who cares what they think, James?
But boy, could he write a song? And that's we always stuck in that conundrum, bro.
It ain't never changed.
Yeah.
Man, JMike, thanks, man. This was really fun.
Man,
definitely gotta have you and Max come back
man.
with LaMicah.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, man, thank you, bro.
Hey, man, thanks for having me, man.
Great seeing you again.
Yes,
too,
sir,
man.
Been too long.
We out, y'all.
Yeah.
Peace.